future we're starting today. Your dreams are digital, they come alive with every automation. It's a we who thrive. I mastery in your hand. Take control, create the plan. We are the future, we are the light. With automation in our sight. Certification, the power's real. Certification, the power's real. From Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. From Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. Your dreams are digital, they come alive with every automation. It's we who thrive. I mastery in your hand. Take control, create the plan. We are the future, we aid the plan with every automation. It's we who thrive. I mastery in your hand. Take control, create the plan. We are the future, we are the light. With automation in our sights. Certification, the power's real. Certification, the power's real. Certification, the power's real. Certification. Certification. WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai.
All right, got to add myself to the stage, and here we go. Here we go. All right, so I'm trying out just a different background today, just because I think it might be a little less distracting for you. So, but I do see that it's creating those little artifacts. So I am here in the studio. As you can see, if you prefer this, you let me know. Matt, you got to change your picture to you in the little avatar settings there. It's showing as me. Joined here with Matt Seralta and Tom Beal, but they're going to be behind the scenes. They may pop in. They're just hanging out, keeping company here today. And yeah, so let me know. Do you prefer the more natural, or when we start sharing my screen, do you prefer more of a background like this that'll just be focusing more on content? So let's go back to the chat there. You let me know which one you prefer. I'll stay with the natural just for now, and you just let's just shut that off. Background off, and you let me know what you prefer. This takes the big chair out of the way and everything when I do the background and stuff. All right, let's see. Just heard my AirPods just jump off. Not sure why. Put them back on. Okay, I put the wrong ones on. Bear with me just a second. Let me make sure my sound is still working for you guys. Audio, microphone. Very good. Bear with me just a second. I'm just trying to get my AirPods to work in my speakers here. And one more thing, I got to go shut off those other speakers in the studio, which they keep picking up here. I'll be right back, Matt. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
My Bluetooth. Matt, can you talk? I just want to make sure you're coming through my AirPods now.
Testing.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, you just exploded through the studio, so I shut those speakers off back there. All right, so cutting off my head a little bit. I'm not using the tracking camera. Let me put that on so that it'll center my head a little bit better. All right, how you doing, Matt?
Doing good, thank you, Mike.
All right. Are you going to stay in the room, or do you want me to put you to the lobby?
I can go either way, my friend. I'm gonna be.
No, I didn't know if you were here for a conversation or if you were going to sit in the background. Just so I know.
A little bit of both. For now, I'm gonna remove myself. I have to finish a few things here, but I'll listen in the background and jump in.
Okay, cool. I'll
feel
take
like
it
it.
solo. I see Tom Beal is just hanging out in the background as well, just listening in. All right, everybody. So we've got an exciting day for you today. We're going to do the one and only training on this that, as per your request, if you guys remember, I was able to build an application in 4 days, working from 11 p.m. at night till 3 in the morning. And I created the Groove Chat. Oh, why is my camera bugging? Maybe because I'm moving my head a lot. I created the Groove Chat application. And I see, Matt, you're back. Did you want to say something, Matt?
I was gonna tell you your camera is acting nuts, but
Yeah, it's because I was cleaning my glasses. When I put my head down, it's trying to track my eyes. So we'll do a good hard reset. We'll start from here. And so today we're going to be going over AI coding, start to finish, soup to nuts. We're going to spend a full 3 hours going over this, and we're actually going to build an application from scratch, something that I want to put into Groove.ai. So it may be something that we're going to merge over into Groove.ai. We're basically going to create, like how we have in Groove.ai, GPTs, but we're going to create not just GPTs, we're going to create something that allows us to create GPTs and not wait for the developers. So we can create GPTs, publish it to a little quote unquote marketplace where everyone can see it, and you'll be able to see basically like company GPTs, which are made by Groove. There'll be company GPTs made by you and GPTs that are made by others that make it public. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all of this done today. If you absolutely love what we're doing and you're throwing out features and you say, hey, Mike, that was great. Can you do this again next month? Or, hey, if you continue that, I'd love to just see a separate live stream. So what I want you guys to know is these trainings are over and above the regular trainings that we do. Like we promised you the first of the month and the third of the month. And right now I'm doing a training every single week. And I'm probably going to continue that. I don't want to make a promise because, we got holidays and stuff and I'm traveling and there's, I got to go to Vegas and there's Christmas and launches and all that stuff. But I'm going to try to keep that going up all the way through the rest of the year. So 3 to 4 trainings per week, as opposed to the promised 1 per week. So if you turn around and say, hey, I don't understand why are we going over AI coding, it's because it's an additional bonus training that you're getting on top of the 2 regular trainings that we promise you every single month. And I think today is going to be pretty exciting. I also am streaming with StreamYard to Firefox. And I found out that if I use Firefox and something called Loopback, and let me just show you that. I'll share my screen here. Let's say with, let's see, select window or screen. We're going to use, I don't know which is screen 1 or 2. It doesn't give me a preview. Bear with me. Use password. Wants me to quit and reopen, but I don't think I really have to do that to launch that. So we don't want that screen. How about this one? We don't want that one. How about this one here? That's the one we want. All right, so let's see if my screen is showing for you all. Let's add it to the stage. Yeah, so you're seeing my screen. Oh, actually, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Sorry, folks. Share screen. Screen 1. It is. That's the one we want. Mute website. Nope. Allow. So now that I'm using Firefox, I can share my screen for you guys just like this, and I can play audio. I found out part of the problem that I was having was I was trying to use another tool called Wavelink, but I got this really cool tool. It's called Loopback by something called Rogue Omega, ROGUE, Rogue Omega Loopback. And I just like to share these things for you. Sometimes you're like, hey, Mike, I have that same problem. I want to be able to play sound on StreamYard. So this is something, they have a free download, but it's like a free trial. You got to purchase it. I think it's like 29, 49 bucks or whatever it is. But I purchased it, and the user interface basically looks like this. So it allows me basically to put my switch to my AirPods if I want. But every single app that I have on the computer, I now have available here for you to hear any sound that's coming out of it. Which is really cool because we were having that issue before. And then I just couldn't get it to work. I was playing with it for like hours and hours and hours the other day. Everything was working other than Chrome. And I remember that's a StreamYard issue. StreamYard doesn't allow you to play any sound coming from the browser because it messes things up. So what I'm doing is I'm streaming over here using the Firefox browser. And then let's just test this. And we'll go to YouTube. And I'm going to play a video over here. And my mouse just died. Oh, that's terrible. We're not having a good day here, folks. Just bear with me a moment. I got to charge my mouse up. And in the meantime, I've got another mouse over here I'm going to go get and sync up while this charges. They should give you like a little warning with Bluetooth, but I'm going to play a video here, and you'll let me know if you hear it as soon as I get my mouse up. Hold on one second. All right, we've got another mouse here, and I'm going to see if I can get this thing to sync with my computer. That usually works just by literally plugging it in. Okay, that should do it. Turn it back on. Sorry, guys. I didn't know my mouse was going to die. There it goes. Magic Mouse is now connected to your computer. All right. I'm going to turn the other one off so it doesn't come back. We'll keep that charging in the meantime. Luckily, we had a little backup. All right. You guys tell me if you hear this. And let's see.
Here are this week's new and trending AI tools that you cannot afford to miss. Later in this video, we'll get into automatic AI coding. It's a big buzz at the moment, but you're probably wondering how I did the intro to this video.
All right. You guys are hearing it. Very, very good. Okay, you can hear it. Okay, so we've solved the issue that I can keep my screen sharing for the rest of the time here. Let's just see how much battery we have here on this Magic Mouse. Bluetooth. Well, we'll see. The other one's charging, so we should be good. And now we can jump on in. I will close this. And so now if we need to hear sound, if we need to hear play anything on the computer, I don't have to stop and share screen and forget that I'm sharing my screen and all that different type of stuff. All right. So let's jump on in. I'm going to create this Google Doc here. It's going to be a little bit of a mess. As we go through, I'm just going to paste things in there, but you'll have access to it in real time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to organize this document a little bit better for you post show. Alrighty, so let's share this document with all of you guys. So anyone with the link can view it. We're going to click copy. We're going to click done. And I'm going to paste it here into the comments. All right. And now you guys all have access to this document. So the first thing that you will need to make this work, and I'm just going to put a little dash here because above that is resources. So, and let's just talk about these resources. Number one, right here, I have created for you a YouTube playlist. Let's make that a H2 heading. I've created a YouTube playlist for you. So let's take a look at what that is when we click on it. Okay, so and if you can, you guys click on that link and please, well, I can figure it out myself. I'm going to do this incognito and see if that loads. Yes, okay, so it's a public playlist because I'm not signed in and it's showing. So I did take care of that properly yesterday. And so this playlist right here, I'm not necessarily saying it's the best playlist, but what I wanted to focus on with this playlist was mostly tutorials for beginners and people that had Google documents with best practices and different things like that. Now this right here, this one got added to the wrong list, so we don't need that in there. These are the only ones that we need. I added the wrong video this morning. All right, so there's another video in here which is really good. It's the very bottom one. It's called Free Complete Cursor AI In-Depth Guide. Prompt templates, everythth included. Now this video right here,
click on these different ones. It's what's going on, everybody.
Josh about this video with Josh Pocock is he provides this Google document here that he's working with. Okay, and literally this is a nice 30-minute video. I wouldn't even recommend watching this at 1 or 2x, because these types of videos, he's basically walking through this entire outline and then he shows you the project. Very similar to what I'm going to be doing. But he was, bear with me just 1 second. I have some clients here in the studio, some group agency clients, and they're playing some stuff on their speakers. It's just a little too loud for us. All right, so basically he was just going over cursor best practices, which are really important. I'm going to go much wider because we're building an application today. All right, so that's this video right here that you're seeing in the playlist right here. Another really good one here is this guy. He's more of an entrepreneur. He's like many of us, and he brought on a
I think to your point, I'm that type.
Absolutely love. And this guy, let's actually see if they gave us a Google Doc here. It doesn't look like they gave us access to this Google Doc, but they did put everything in here. Now, do I put that into our Google Doc? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll put that. No, I'm not going to. You're going to see the video and you can put it here. I don't want to start stretching out the Google Doc with all of these different things. This is related to this video, but he's got some really, really interesting stuff in here that he goes over. We might even just go over his outline to make sure I'm going everything with you today. But this is really some fantastic stuff and that I recommend you watch. Now, these other videos that are here are just, let me see. I thought I of this one. Yeah, these other videos here are just focusing on some updates to cursor that aren't in some other videos out there, and there's been some massive updates to cursor that just happened in the last 5 days to 2 weeks that I wanted to get in here for you. So let's first talk about what you're going to need. Number one, you're going to need a Replit account, and this is free. They do have a paid version for I think 10 or 20 bucks a month that allows you to do some other cool stuff. If you get the bug for this and want to do it, go ahead and do that. So let's get a URL for Replit. Okay. All right, so you're going to want to get an account with Replit. And so let's talk about what Replit is. So developers use something like Cursor that we see here to, or basically I should say VS Code. So let's actually start there. So let's put in VS Code. Do not download. That is by Microsoft, and they created this this thing that you're seeing here, VS Code, right? VS Code is an open source tool built on a platform called Electron, which basically essentially means it's built in Google Chromium, and so it's actually like a so it handles HTML very well, and it allows you to build projects. Okay, and when you when they created this, they pretty much put most of the other IDEs, which are integrated development environments, meaning you can see all your files on servers. Here's a particular page you're working on. There's a terminal and all these different things, and it allows you to code. It's what coders use. The way that we use Groove Pages to build pages, and people use Groove Pages or High Level or ClickFunnels or whatever, developers use VS Code, and pretty much 90% of developers use VS Code. And don't kill me, you developers that are on here saying, Mike, it's only 50%, but from what I understand, it's about 80 to 90% of developers use VS Code. But since it's open source, you can develop with it, you can try to contribute to Microsoft, or you can fork the code. And when they fork the code, what happened is this company here, Cursor, forked the code because VS Code, just like Google Chrome, allows you to put extensions in. But the problem is, if you want to do anything in Chrome, you have to get approval from Google and create an extension, and it can only work the way that extensions can make. But if you want to create your own brand new browser, something like you're seeing here, where the tabs are on the left and you can create folders, well, then you have to fork Google Chrome. And people did, and they created something called the Arc browser. So these guys did the same thing for VS Code, and they forked it. And by doing that, they can create an application that doesn't just work on extensions. They were able to build AI into the application 100% natively, okay? And by doing that, they've revolutionized coding. And it's getting to the point now where all the haters, just getting my drink, all the developer haters were like, AI really can't code. It doesn't know your code. But all that game is gone. And in fact, there are still some developers right now that aren't even aware of the changes that have happened in the last 6 weeks with AI coding. And when they see this, they're like, they get on and they create YouTube videos. Excuse me. They create YouTube videos like this. All right. Everybody's telling me I got to try Cursor, and I know I'm the one that said that it's, we're 2 to 3 years away from AI coding. And then they start reading, they're like, okay, so let's take a look. Okay, oh, this is new. Okay, it knows your code base. Okay, because it has a 250 context window. Okay, that was one of my problems. And they go through and they start realizing all the different things that can be done. And they're like, oh, all right, well, let's try it. And 10 minutes into the video, they're like, oh my God, I'm mind blown. I'm going to be able to 10x my workload because this has every feature that I didn't think was going to be. And boom, they're all available, right? So we're going to put down Cursor. This is another resource that you're going to need. And this is what you're going to code with. This is basically your chat GPT. And I'm going to put that down. Cursor equals your chat GPT for coding, right? You simply just, and so let me put my little pretty face on here for you. And let's talk about what an abstraction layer is, okay? So back when I started, when I wanted to code, or before I got started, if you wanted to make something for the internet, you had to learn HTML, okay? And then HTML, all websites looked the same because they were basically HTML. Then they came out with something called CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and basically adds the ability for websites to look good. And then the web started completely changing. And then they added something called JavaScript, and JavaScript allowed websites to now have like collapse and pop-ups and make buttons bounce and all these different things. So that tech stack of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript is what is considered the front end. The front end is essentially everything that happens in the browser. And so if you wanted to create a web page 15 years ago, before WordPress, you had to use something called Dreamweaver, or God forbid, what I was using, Microsoft Front Page, which was basically like a Word doc on a web page, and it was the worst way to build a website. But what Front Page and Dreamweaver did is it created an abstraction layer over the code. So if you look at the way your computer works, it's a bunch of different abstraction layers. It's basically binary, zeros and ones that run the computer. And on top of that, there's a couple of different languages that were the early sets of languages in development, right? They went from binary to basically, and I'm not going to get this perfect, but it would have been machine language and assembly language, right? And those were kind of like the precursors to the way that the computer ran in the beginning. All right. So in order to write easier from going, writing ones and zeros, we had machine language and assembly language, and then they created another abstraction layer above that. And that was things like C, C++, Ruby, and what are the old ones that the banks use? I'm forgetting. Somebody can put it into the chat. There's like an old language that the banks are still running on this old language. And I'm not going to look it up on ChatGPT. Somebody will probably put it in the chat there for me. And so what we basically did is we created a syntax that allowed us to use actual language, but it was very structured, and it was an abstraction layer over the binary code. So we could write code that would look like this. Right? And I'm going to make, let me make my screen a little bit bigger. Let me see if that drives me crazy today. I'll make my screen a little bit bigger for you guys. Displays, where are you? It's right in front of my face and I'm not seeing it. Okay, let's, okay, yeah, we're about as big as I want to make it today. So what I'm going to do is I'll just make my view here a little bit bigger for everybody. So code, instead of writing in machine language and all these, different types of codes where we had to write like that, we were now able to say if customer customer.name or something like that sorry folks is Smith, then, right, and we were able to now start using language, right, to Cobalt. Thank you guys, Cobalt. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, the Cobalt was these are really archaic languages, right? And then so we started writing languages like this, and I started using BASIC, and BASIC was more like basic language. And I think one of the best abstraction layer, if you put my face back on here, the best abstraction layer coding right now is a language called Python, right? Python looks so natural to English, but you're still needing to understand how to write code. You need to understand that syntax. Okay, so what we have right now is a new abstraction layer. Right. So if you look at what I was talking about, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we started creating abstraction layers. One abstraction layer was something like WordPress, and it allowed us to use templates. And now we have Groove pages or ClickFunnels. And these are things that created a layer above the code that you drag and drop, but it's still building the code in the background. And now we are finally at the point where we've created a new abstraction layer on top of Python, PHP, JavaScript, HTML, and what that abstraction layer is called natural language, right? So if you know anything about coding, there's words like compilers, right? And it has to compile the program. So when you're writing in Python or PHP and you're saying if username and everything like that, it doesn't send that down to the computer. It literally compiles that into ones and zeros. So now our abstraction layer that we're adding is just natural text. We can now type and say things like, I want, I'm not going to type it here, I want a button on the website that's centered and it's used for Google sign-in. Here's a screenshot of how it looks like. And I want when the user clicks that it authenticates where they can just sign in with Google. So instead of me writing the code like auth, blah, 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 and let's make this even bigger for you now that I've added my face here, right? I can literally type in natural language. So we went from binary to machine language to assembly to C to Python, and now we have actual just language like you're talking to somebody in Skype. And what that does is it basically writes the code in JavaScript or Python, and then that gets compiled all the way down to zero. So we've basically just created abstraction layers up there. And now we're getting to the point where you can create a website without even need to drag and drop blocks. You can just go to something like V0, which I showed you last week, and type in, make me a landing page, and it writes it. So we now have the ultimate abstraction layer. So this is where I want to call out developers, okay? When we together build an application today, compiler or interpreter, thank you, Stephen. When we build an application today, a developer will go, well, you're not a coder, right? And so I'm going to be the 72-year-old Cobalt or machine language guy, and I'm going to say, well, excuse me, son, you're actually not a coder either. All you're doing is writing in some very slow language like Python, and that's just an abstraction layer to real coding the way that I did it, right? And then somebody's going to say to him, well, listen, son, I was literally writing in ones and zeros. So I will assure you that when you learn this stuff, and you start understanding how the web works, because you still need to understand file structures and installing packages and things like that. But you learn it very, very quickly, just like you learn to use Groove Pages. You can call yourself a coder. Your code is an abstraction layer called natural language. And if they're going to beat you up about that, well, at least you can definitely say you're a software developer. Because at the end of the day, abstraction layers are about communication through technology. So if I want to go to wanted to go to China 30 years ago or Japan, and I met somebody that didn't speak English, that me and that person couldn't communicate. Today, I have an abstraction layer, okay, right here. Okay, this abstraction layer, I can hit a button and I can go, excuse me, I'm an American and all I like is hamburgers. I'm looking for the nearest McDonald's. And it would then speak their language and they would speak their language back and speak to me. And I would say, great, thank you very much. So what was the end goal? The end goal was communication. The syntax of our languages didn't matter because we had an abstraction layer in between. So you are now all software developers if you choose to be. And because we now have an extraction layer, just like ChatGPT, I need a blog post that writes this. Give me a blog post about Ben Franklin, talk about his early life, and then it writes it for you. We've got an abstraction layer that now does that for code. All right, so let's get rid of this stuff here. So you're going to need a Replit account. You're going to need to download Cursor. Now it's free, but what I'm going to be showing you today with Cursor Composer is $20 a month, and I highly recommend that only if you want to start playing around and making applications. So let's talk about what Replit is compared to Cursor. All right, so I'm logged into my Replit account, and what's nice about Replit is it is basically Visual Studio Code in the cloud. Now, I could care less about that. What I like about it is, for instance, if I go into Groove Chat here, it's just storing my code in the cloud, right? All of us like the cloud. We get it. We use Dropbox. We use Google Docs. Many of us don't use Outlook anymore. We just use Gmail. Many of us don't use Microsoft Word, right? You know, when your mother sends you a document in Microsoft Word and you're like, Ma, just put it in a Google Doc so we can real-time collaborate, right? And so essentially what this is, it's a real-time cloud-based developer platform that I could click on different things like this and look at my code, but I can share it with different people and we could code it at the same time like a Google Doc. Just like when I look into this document here, I see that there's 16 of you in here right now, and some of you, are playing around in the page. And so the main reason why I like Replit is basically it comes from, I believe that they're using a play on the word replicate because it creates templates, okay? And what that means is I can take anything I build and I can just share it with you and you can import it like a Google Doc and fork it and work with it on your own, okay? And so, excuse me, there are these templates here that I'm going to share with you, which is what I call my starter kit. And I want to give a shout out to Riley and Anush for doing this. So let's go to YouTube here. And his name is Riley Brown. And I learned a lot of stuff from this guy. So if you kind of like this and you're like, hey, I want to go back and deep dive on some of the stuff that Mike said here, here are some videos. Basically, if I go back to the beginning here, like this is like the first one, how to build a web app, in a minute. This new Cursor Replit template slaps. Let me just see how long this video is. If this is the right one.
To see if this
works. This is the walkthrough of him setting it up. There's another one here that I like as well. And I'm just going to give you that one.
The notes are being saved.
So again, this is not going to be the most organized on the live show that we're doing right now.
The ugly
later, I'll come
version
in and I'll put other headings on here in the document for you. So I'm just going to put here. Where Mike got his journey, started his journey. All right. That's with this kid here. And he is the one that created this template that I'm going to share with you. So when we go to Replit, and I'm going to put it into the Google Doc as well. This is template one. Let me see. Template one, Riley and Anush. Full stack Next.js template. This is the one that we want. Okay. So let's... I thought I could just share this link, but I can't. So what I need to do is simply go to his YouTube video and get it from him.
Firebase, you might
That's
see
why I like to give credit to these guys, because I'm sharing some of their resources with you. And I want to make sure that this is the right video where they, yeah, okay. So here we should be able to find his template. All right, so this is not the right YouTube video. I'm always in there's 3 different YouTube videos where you see like that I've watched, they have red on them. So let me just find it because I want to share this template for you guys.
Background.
You know what's happening? I think these guys are starting to start their own membership site, and they're no longer giving away their templates. Let's see.
Because we've...
Ooh, they stopped giving away their... Oh, no, I think they put it in the first pinned comment. Yeah. Okay. Thank goodness. I just remembered. I've had this problem with them before, and they put their templates away in the first pinned comment. Okay. So you get their templates by going here. They want you to join their community now. It used to be just a quick download. So let's join their community. Let's just put in Mike. They want a password here. All right, let's see. Doesn't like my password. Create a random password off screen, paste it in, bring the screen back for you guys. All right. Okay, they sent me an email. Six-digit code. Boink. Nope, that didn't work. Crazy enough. 308451. Change your password. Looks like they created their own software here. All right, let's open up 1Password again. New item, new password. Bear with me, guys. So, the problem with being live is, it's saying, hey, do you want to use a suggested password? But it's displaying the password, so I have to, start and do it with a new one. And so let's use this new one here. Update existing, create my password, and let's see, do we finally get into these guys' members area? Wow. Well, I can tell what they've done now. They've basically created their no, they're using looks like community. I don't know if they're using an app. This could be Circle. This looks like Circle. Looks like they moved off of Discord. So in here, let's see, templates. So they now give away the templates over here. So they used to put it into the YouTube video. So they have their video showing their templates. And so I'm just going to click this and see if this is their latest template using template 2, which is the one I believe. Yeah, that's it. Guys, I have to be polite to them. I can't give you this template right here. I have to give you this link here. I have to tell you to go here. I have to do the right thing by these guys and tell you to join their community and get their template there. They're giving it away for free, but in order to give it away for free, they want your name and email, and they want you part of the community. And for me to, just take this URL and just give it to you is just not fair. All right. So so just join their community, and you'll go down to the templates, and then click right here where it says using template 2, and click here, and they got a little video on it. All right. So now you will have the template. Okay. And once you have the template, basically, I already have it right here. So I'm gonna do it right here. I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna choose this template, and I'm gonna give it. And the problem is, if you're a free user, you have to show all your code public, and that's why I choose private, and that leaves my code private, and I think it's 10 or 20 bucks a month. Len, thank you very much. He says, good job, Mike. Ethics matter, right? Look, they're giving it away for free, but they're giving it away for free the proper way, and I gotta put it through their channels. And so we'll just simply link to the way that that I get it, and that's the senior software something developer, what do they call themselves? All right, so we're gonna go back to create the template here. I'm going to give it a name, and we're going to call this app that we're going to create today, we're going to call it Assistant Marketplace, or let's call it GPT Assistant Marketplace. And I'm going to create a REPL or replicate. They use this little word here, and I'm basically installing this code. It's going to take maybe about 20 seconds to actually create all of this stuff for us here. All right. And so there we go. I now have my own code base that basically starts with. Now, these guys use a code base that uses Node.js, Next.js, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm using this template. You don't have to. You can basically just tell Cursor to just create your own little one for you, but I'm showing you the way that I do it. It's just an easy way, and then all my code that I put into my Cursor is stored in the cloud. All right, so the very next thing, let's remove that off the screen for you guys here. Somebody said here, I think you mean 300 baud. That's maybe my father worked. Oh, you guys were talking to each other there. Okay, so what we now need to do is we need to create a database for free with Firebase. Now, you can do this with Vercel or Supabase or Amazon Cloud, but these guys instructed me to use Firebase, and I fell in love with Firebase because it's Google. All right, so how do you do that? The first thing that you've got to do is you've got to go to firebase.google.com. And again, I'm going to tell you the same problem I had last time. Excuse me one second. Same problem I had last time is I have many different accounts. So I'm always at my MikeFulsame@Gmail. Always when you see this at Google, always make sure that you're in the account that you want to be in here with Google. Now, you guys are going to be seeing my database keys. So what I'm going to unfortunately have to do is whatever we build here, I'm going to have to delete the database and then redo it with a new database username and password and all that stuff, because we're going to be building something. But in order for me to teach you this, I have to show you the database password and stuff like that. So the app will not continue on this database. If anybody's watching this in a replay and wants to hack my database, it's no longer going to be there. I'm going to change the database later. All right, so now we go to firebase.google and we log in. Now I happen to be logged in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the console, and we have to follow these steps, okay? So step number 1, we need to create a project. And I'm going to call this project, let's just go back to Replit, and let's just get the same name that we have here. Okay, and I'm going to call this project just to keep things consistent. We have a typo here. GPT Assistant Marketplace. I'm going to put a dash here. I'm going to use that to actually change the name of this up here as well, so they're consistent. Yeah, okay. So we're in firebase.google. Firebase is just basically a database up there, and we're going to click continue. Okay. I'm going to leave enable Google Analytics for this project for now. We'll just put that on. Select a Google Analytics account, default account for Firebase, create project, and it's creating my database for me. Pretty simple. Honestly, guys, nothing too complicated to get up and running for the first time, right? So this takes a few seconds. Great time for me to hit pause and take a sip. And let me unpause. All right, my Firebase project is ready, and now you can see I had a project here for WorkflowApp. I had a project for Chatbot Builder, and let's actually go back, and we're going to see that I have. These are the different apps that I've been working with. This is the one I really created, but just so that you guys know, right? This app.workflowApp, right? This application that you see right here. Let's see. Why am I? $500 error. Are you users having a problem getting into the Workflow app? Am I using the wrong password or something?
Hey, Mike, I just got a notice from the team that there's a problem getting the Workflow app
Hey,
right
Matt?
now. Yeah, can you hear me?
Users, if you can you log into Workflow app and tell me if it's down for you?
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Not that it matters for what we're doing for the training, but if we can't get in.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Hey, Matt, Seralto?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me call Matt. Bear with me, guys.
Can you hear me? I think Mike can hear me, so hang on. It looks like you couldn't hear me, man.
No, you're not in the room. You gotta.
I am.
Oh, you are. Yeah, no, but so your microphone's not working for some reason. Let me see what people are saying. They're saying Matt is on the live feed, but we can't hear him. Yeah. So for whatever reason, we're not hearing you in there, Matt.
Okay, all right. So I just got notified from the team indeed that there's a problem that just went down with Workflow app.
Okay.
So we're working on it.
Okay. Can you let me know when it's
like literally about a minute ago.
Perfect timing. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So they're working on the servers today. We had some issues with Groove.cm, and they're doing some Cloudflare stuff. And so that's usually what happens when you get that error. So, but anyway, you can see on the front end here that it's working. So this was built. What you guys are familiar with Workflow app. Matt, I'm going to remove you from the room there just in case your microphone comes back on and you're not aware of it. So I built that. As you can see here, that was this. And then I created that other chatbot builder that, that I showed you guys last week, basically Groove Chat. And today we're creating this one. So let's jump into here. All right. So the first thing that I believe, I haven't done this in a while. Let's see if I can remember. I think we have to click on this web thing right here. All right. And we have to register our app. We're going to set up, let's see here. So we got to give it a name again. Do I still have that here? So I don't remember. I'm going to leave the hosting off because I'm not hosting with Firebase. So I'm just going to click register app. Okay. And it's giving me all of my auth domain, basically my storage bucket. Some of this stuff is all the stuff that I need from my secrets. So I'm just going to click continue to console here. As I said, guys, you don't really want to be sharing that stuff with people. So I'm going to delete this Firebase install and then go back and rebuild it and reconnect it later. But at least for now, we can do this. All right. So there's four things, I believe, that we need to do. Number one, we need to set up authentication so that we could get this to work with people, just signing in with Google. Okay. So let's click on authentication. All right. And then we're going to click get started. I haven't done this in about a month. Okay. And so there's a couple of things here that we need to do. But for the sign-in method, we can do email and password, etc. But for right now, I want to do only Google sign-in for now. Okay. So I'm going to enable that. Okay. You have to put an email, just grab your email out of that and just put that there. You don't have to change any of this stuff. Just hit save. And now we are set up for Google authentication. I believe there's one more thing that I need to do here. So let's just let that go up. And I think we need to now go to usage. settings. And we have to, we have to do authorized domain. Okay. And I have to add a domain. And I believe that I get that. I believe I get that from Replit. And we're going to come back to that in just a minute. Let me actually, we'll play that video from those guys, Riley Brown. All right. And go.
We've told it that in this in the system prompt or custom prompt. And it knows like 5
that's strange.
to 10%. I guess it's a small project, so it's going to be 3%. And that's good. Now what you're going to do after you've done, connect your Replit code base with your Firebase storage, authentication, and database. And this basically can.
That's a shame. Just change this to here.
Connects everything together.
All right. And then if I put my headphones
together so that Claude can generate code for your code base in Replit so they can all communicate and everything can be stored properly.
So for whatever reason, I'm just going to have to put this on my studio.
And we're going to go over this process in this video, and we're going to.
So let me see where he goes to the Firebase setup and where he does the domain. Okay, we look like we're right around this part right here. Authentication.
We're going to add 3 things right now. We're going to add a Firestore database. We're going to add authentication, and then we're going to add.
Okay, we're going to be doing that in just a minute.
So we're able to sign in. It's going to be awesome. We're good there. We could add other forms of sign in, but actually video, and so these get stored.
He didn't do the. He also skipped the. And so that means he comes back to it later. Well, this was a bunch of junk that they did here. All right, they do it on another video as well. So let me see if I can just get that. It's not completely necessary for us to build the app, but it would be nice if we have it.
Let's start with.
Okay, so configuring Firebase. Let's see what he does.
And paste them into the secrets part in Replit database, and we're just going to hit next, get started. While this is loading, you're going to come over to web. We're going to hit authorized domains,
That's what
and we're going to add this domain, which is going to allow us to log in.
Oh, okay, very good. So what I do is I go to Replit. Okay, we go back to Replit. Bing, 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 bing. And I click run. Missing secrets. Okay, so but let me see if it gives me the. All right, so we web view. Let's just see if I can at least get the page, and then it'll give me the page. Okay, I got it. So just so you know, when I was in Replit, there was a little green button here that said run, and it basically started the server. Okay, and then basically there's the preview domain, the web view. And then you click this, and this little URL comes here, and that's my little server. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Domain, and I'm going to paste that in. That's that URL, and we add it, and we're good. Okay, so we've now added authentication. So we click Sign In Method. We chose Google when it was here, and then we went through that step, and then we had to go to Settings, and we had to click on this thing right here that said Authorized Domain. We had to add domain. We'd add that domain there to authorize it. Okay, so there's 2 more things that we need to do. We need to build a database, and we need to build storage. So what's the difference? A database is like a Google Sheets, right? It's just, picture Google Sheets where you have name, last name, first name, email, and it's like a spreadsheet that that holds all of your data. And storage is like your Dropbox. That's where you upload images and videos and PDFs and things like that, right? So in order to set up a database, we click Database in the Build section here. Click on Database. Okay. And we now click Create Database. All right, we're going to give, we don't have to click anything here. This is just fine. Just click Next. Okay. Now, you can start in production mode or test mode. You're eventually going to have to go into production mode. Just click the Start in Test mode. It's a little bit easier for you to do your code. You can always put it into full production mode later when you put it onto a website. Okay. Manny, you said here, how do I get my login? It's been over a month. Manny, when we get the app back up, you should be able to get right here and just click Forgot Password and just put your email address in, and it should send it to you. And if it doesn't, Manny, email matt@groovedigital.com. Matt will help you out. He said,
and make sure to check your spam as well.
Yeah, check your spam as well. Thank you, Matt. All right. All right. So we have to click Create Database, which we did. And now we have a database. I think that's all we need. I think we're done. All right. Now we have to create storage. So we're going to go over here. We're going to create storage and wait for this to load. I'm going to click Get Started. And I'm going to put this in test mode as well and let this go. Click Done. And there we go. We've now just created a database for our app to store, do authentication, store users, store their photos, their images, anything they upload. It's that simple. It's that simple. And by the way, it's all free. I don't know when they're going to start charging, but this stuff is like super, super cheap. All right. Okay. So now what we need, ladies and jelly beans, is we need to get our keys talking to Replit. And the beautiful thing is once we're done with Replit, we're just going to sync Cursor and Replit together. And that basically means I can use Cursor, which is my code builder on my desktop, to actually get all the information from the cloud, right? Okay. So picture Replit is like Groove Pages and Cursor is like your browser that you're building Groove Pages, all right? So, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to Replit and I'm going to click here where it says secrets. Now, let's say it didn't say secrets, right? At any time, you can click the plus button here and search for any command that you want to show up in the tab. And in this case, I'm going to type in secrets and just click secrets, and it opens up for me. All right, I'm going to lower all of this information here, right? And I'm going to move this over so that we can see more. So there are a few things that they need for this application to work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I don't think that we need all of these, different things in here like DeepGram, Anthropic and stuff like that. I'm only going to put in what you need for this to work. So now we're going to go back to my Firebase tab and I'm going to click, I believe, on this project overview or the gear. Is it the gear? Project, let's see, project settings. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm in Firebase. I'm here in my app and I just did whatever I did. Maybe I created a database or whatever, but now I need all my secret keys. So what you do is you click on the gear and you click on project settings and you scroll down and you're going to use all of these things right here. So the first thing that they're asking for is the next public Firebase API key. So we want the API key right here. We're just going to copy that without the quotes. We're going to go boink, add secret. Okay. And then they want the Firebase auth domain. And this is the auth domain. The reason why it doesn't say Firebase is because we're in Firebase. So we need the auth domain. And so we're going to go here. We're going to go boink. Now we need our project ID. Well, there it is. Project ID. Copy, paste, boink. And what do we need next? We need our storage bucket where we're going to store all of our stuff. Well, that is literally right here. And we're going to go put that in here like that. And we're going to store that. And now we need our messaging ID, boink, boink, boink. And now it needs our Firebase app ID. Literally just go down the work here and get all of these things in. This is a one-time thing, to set this up. Now we need our Firebase measurement ID. I think that's our Google Analytics stuff that it created for us. Okay. And now we need our OpenAI API key. So I'm going to go to OpenAI platform.openai. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to click on API. Where do we go here? Beep, 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 beep. Playground. Dashboard. There's a lot of stuff here. API keys. Here we go. Dashboard, API keys. I'm going to go off to the side over here. I'm going to click Create New API Key. I'm going to name this GPT Assistant Marketplace. I'm going to click Create Secret Key. I now got a key. It's in my clipboard, and I'm going to paste that right in here. Boink. We add our secret key. Replicate token. What is replicate? Replicate. I'm taking that offline just in case I sign in and it displays. Let's just go to replicate.com and see what they are. Let me log out. Let me do this in a incognito browser. See what they are. Run AI with an API. All right, so it looks like it's just something that they put into their template. So why not? I'm there right now. I'm going to click on API. And I'm going to create. Looks like I can do this without you guys seeing it. Let's see. Enter token name. We're going to call it GPT Assistant Marketplace. And let's see if it displays my token. No, it doesn't. So I can just copy that. We can get rid of all this stuff for whatever we might need that in the future. Who knows? Anthropic API key. Why not? You don't need this, guys. I'm telling you, you don't need it. But just, for you guys that might want it, I'm just going to go to Anthropic, not Claude, anthropic.com. I already have an account with them, build with Claude. I have a developer account. I put some money on file, $5 or something with them. I'm going to log in. Let me just take this off the screen here. You never know with this stuff sometimes if it displays your API keys or any information. Yeah, it doesn't show the full API key. So you go to settings here, and the dots are hiding the full API key. I'm going to click Create API Key. I'm going to give it a name here of all right. Select the workspace. We'll choose the default. Add. Hopefully it doesn't show. Well, it shows my entire API key. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that, and we're going to delete this API key because we do not want to show that API key. So I'm going to create another API key, and I'm going to do this off the screen. Click Add. I'm going to copy that key. Okay. All right, so I've got that API key right here, and I'm going to put that in here, and I'm going to click Add Secret. Let's open incognito, see what the deepgram is. Let's just see here. All right, looks like they're doing something here to build voice apps or something, whatever. This is their template. Let's just go through the motions. we're going to log in. I already have an account because I did this last time. And hopefully they don't show any of my API keys existing. Some of these companies are just not smart with that. We're going to click API key. Yeah, they hide it. They're smart. So I'm going to create a new API key, and we're going to call this one the same thing. Deepgram, where did you go? Okay. All right. Let's see if they show the key. Hopefully they don't. Yep, they do. All right. So I'm going to delete this key. Trash. We're going to do one more. All right. And I'm going to create the key without displaying it. Okay. And now I know I can never see this key again. Okay. And there we go. I got that secret key. I already copied it to my clipboard, and we're done. We are actually done adding all of our secrets into our app, and we can get started. Ta-da! Okay, we're good. So let's slide this back over. All right. So basically, if I run the app now, it's going to basically be their page, right? This is basically, it starts up their app and does all of this stuff. You can create a voice notes app and all this stuff. But basically what I want to do is I want to wipe out basically everything. And I'm going to show you one more little tool that you want to know. Let's load up Cursor. Oh, we need to connect our cursor to this. But the next tool I'm going to tell you about is something called Claude Dev. And so let's put that here. You're going to need number 3. Let's put Firebase.google. Okay, I think that was pretty important to put here. And we will also now need, this is an option, guys. This is called Claude Dev. Now, we may or may not use this today. I've always used it because I don't like using it once my project is started, because this thing is fully autonomous. It just goes to town. It starts writing code like crazy. And, it doesn't, they've done a lot of updates that let you know what's going on in the background. It's really hard to go backwards and iterate. So it's really great to start a project and to help you install all your packages and different things like that. But once you're done, you don't want to be automating. Why is my keyboard not working here? Okay. So Claude Dev, that's just an extension that you're going to do in Cursor. All right. So the next thing, this one is a little bit tricky, guys. I never get this to work the right way. All right. But let's see if I can get this to work for the first time. So what we need to do is we need to open up our terminal. And in Cursor, that command is Command on a Mac and Control on a PC. From here on out, I'm going to use the terms Command J. If you have a Windows computer, it's Control. I think we all know that. So I'm going to hit Command J because I'm on a Mac. All right. And that opens up my terminal. All right. Now, I don't know how to write terminal commands, even like CD, directions. I don't know that. But the beautiful thing with AI, like I said, we've got a built-in ChatGPT that'll just write everything for us. And so that is this little thing called Command K. And that opens up this little window right here where I can talk in natural language and it'll put it into the terminal. So what is the terminal, guys? The terminal is basically, the shell of your computer. Remember, Mac OS and Windows is an abstraction layer on top of the shell of your computer. If you're old enough to remember, when Windows came out, what did it replace? It replaced MS-DOS. Windows was an abstraction layer on top of MS-DOS. MS-DOS is an abstraction layer on top of the terminal. And so that is like on your Mac, if I open up my terminal, this is where you go into your computer and you can hack different things and change settings that aren't even available in your regular settings, right? So I'm just, some of this stuff you don't need, but I don't like to just say, hit Command K, do this. I think some of you might be interested to understand what is this little terminal toggle that we can open and close. Open, close, Command J in Cursor or VS Code opens up your terminal. So I don't know the code here, but what we need to do is we need to say in regular language, and let me just see if I have.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt in the middle of the stream. Good news, the app is back up and running. We now have twice as big a server, twice as fast, and somehow that was done in the middle of the day. It's a last little switch. So we were down for a few minutes, but you're now up and running, my friend.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Appreciate that, buddy. All right, so you can see, guys, this application I built basically, you know, and now I look at it, it is so what is this here? Yeah, it is so basic. Like, I'm not even impressed with this application anymore. I want to go in and dress it up even more. Just so you know, guys know, FlowWise and N8N, if you go in and you click, you might see an upgrade button right here. Anytime you go in, you just click the upgrade button and it'll upgrade your app. We've added instant upgrades for you guys as well. All right, so I created this app. That's what I was trying to show you before. All right, so what we're going to do is I need, let's close some of this. I'll leave this one open in case I need to get back here. I need to connect. I don't think we need this. I need to connect Cursor to Replit. Okay, so I need to create like the secret key, and I think I have. Let me see, and I'm going to write this command in the document. Let me just see. Let me see if I have a notepad. I thought I put that in notes. All right. Oh, did I just see it? No. All right. So we'll have to watch them do it in the video. I always forget the command, the exact wording they do, but there it is. It's right there. We need to write down. Oh, he's writing it right there. All right. Generate an SSH key for Replit. Name it Replit and copy the public key to my clipboard. All right, let me see if I can remember that in one shot. We're going to put that into the Google Doc. Sync Replit with Cursor. Okay, so we need to hit Command K, Command J, open terminal, Command K. That's open, basically like the little natural language. Let's say AI language converter. All right. So now when we do that, we want to type in this command. That is generate an SSH key for Replit, comma, name it Replit. Generate an SSH key for Replit, name it Replit. Some of this stuff I don't even really know what it's doing. I sort of do now. When I first did this, I had no idea what I was doing. And copy it to my clipboard. Now, guys, we live in a great time because, like, I don't even know how to write this actual code in terminal mode in Cursor, but now I can if I put that here, it's going to be like, what are you talking about, human? I don't speak natural language, but I can hit like Command K, right? If that's this little thing that pops up here, and I can type that, generate an SSH key for Replit, name it Replit, and copy the public. And oh, I didn't do that. And copy. Let's do that right. And copy the public key to my clipboard, and copy the public key to my clipboard. Okay, that's what we need. So we're going to take that, put that into Cursor right here, and I'm going to hit submit, and it's going to write the terminal command for me. See? Now, how would I know this? See, I have an abstraction layer right now that I don't have to learn how to code. I can just talk in natural language and it'll do these things. All right. So I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Overwrite. I'm just going to hit space. Enter. I'm just going to hit enter. Maybe I got to hit. Let's see here. Generate private. I guess I got to hit yes. So let me do that one more time. I'm just going to hit this trash button. We're going to go back to Command J. I'm going to do that Command K, paste that again. I think I have to hit yes, actually. I thought you could just hit enter. So we're going to hit enter here. I'm going to hit yes, overwrite. And then I can hit enter here. And now in my clipboard, don't do anything. You have a secret key. Okay, so the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Replit. Okay, and I'm going to type in here key. Or let me see, is it secrets again? No. Let me just see what it is here. He has it in the video. See, I did this once before, so
we're going to press enter.
He's literally where we just
This is going to do this little code magic right here. I'm going to click into here. I'm going to press on.ssh replit already exists.
Yes,
Would you want to overwrite? I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to press enter. It's going to ask for a passphrase. We're not going to put anything. We're just going to hit enter.
This is literally
enter.
What we just
now
did.
What we're going to do
right now
is we're going to go to Replit. If you see this key weird symbol thing, just know that.
Oh, okay. He's in SSH. I see it right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up here. I'm going to type in SSH, and we're going to click here. We click on keys. Okay. And let's just follow him doing that. I believe we click, well, let's just do it. I'm sure about this. We click add a new SSH key. I'm going to paste that in. That was in my clipboard. Okay. And I'm just going to call this label here GPT Assistant Marketplace. Right. I'm going to add that SSH key. And just like that, I have my SSH key here for that. Okay. Okay. So now that I have that, wonder if it's bad that you guys are seeing my other SSH keys. I hope it's not. But I hope you respect that. But who knows? Let's see. Now what we're going to do is we are going to now go back to cursor, and I'm going to now click open with SSH. And I believe, let me just see his video. I believe I have to grab this key here. I believe I have to grab this key here, but let's just watch him do it. Is this one that we're watching? Okay.
Thing is now copied to your clipboard. You're going to come over to keys. We're going to add SSH key. We're just going to paste this in. And we're just going to put template project 2. And this is just whatever name will help you remember this connection.
Add key. We just did
SSH
that.
Key. Now we're going to hit connect.
Now, okay. All right. Let's follow him along. Now we're going to click connect. Okay. And after I click connect, let's get rid of this video so I don't keep clicking the wrong one on the VS Code. Okay.
Copy. Now we're going to come over back to cursor, and we're going to hit open with SSH.
Okay.
We're going to paste that key.
Got that. We are going to copy this key, go back to cursor. I'm going to click open with SSH. Okay. It'll always open like this in cursor. Either you open a folder that's on your desktop or you're opening something on the cloud with SSH. So we're going to click open with SSH. And what I'm going to do, and that video is also there with him, is I'm going to hit paste that key in here. And then I'm going to hit, I believe I click add new SSH. Let's watch him do it.
Right here. Then we're not going to press enter.
Right. You don't press enter. So you paste that in and you click add new SSH, and then you paste the key again, and then you hit enter. And then you choose this thing that says user, your username, SSH config. It's usually the first line. You click that, and then you click this connect button right here. And what's going to happen is it's now connecting to Replit. And this is a one-time thing that I got to do. And every time when you come back, instead of clicking open folder, you'll just see these things SSH, and you could just load right there. How did Riley find out all this? It's amazing. Well, basically, guys, while that's happening, Riley's partner Anush is like his developer. And so when you watch these videos here,
you'll notes app.
Riley doesn't know anything. But he now knows the way that I know, because here is his developer saying,
pretty closely corresponds.
What you now need to do, and then you see Riley going, oh, that's the problem I always have. And in a month later, Riley's now a developer. Like, this kid is creating application. He doesn't sleep, right? But he knew what you guys knew 2 months ago. And this guy, his partner, walked him through it. And they're creating an entire community on AI coding that you can find right here. So if you like this stuff, because I'm not going to be covering more of it, right? Just join their community and find his YouTube channel. Okay. So let's go back to cursor and see if I connected here. Let's see. Sometimes it doesn't connect, and I do this thing right here. I just go and I click launch cursor, and then it works. So I'm going to do that because maybe that button wasn't there in the past. And then sometimes after all that stuff that I did, it just automatically loads that way. Like I said, I always have a tricky part loading. Let me just do that one more time. We're going to get that key. I'm going to click. Let's do another SSH. Oh, well, it has it here. Let's see if I can do it here. Are you sure you want to continue? Let's just click continue. Maybe I didn't click continue. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe that was the problem. Got to click continue. Yeah, see, downloading VS Code from server. We're good. Come on, cross fingers. Yeah, all right. We're good, guys. We're good. The hard part's out of the way. We're going to start coding. Okay? We have now basically created the starter template that basically has everything that we need in here for us, and it's all connected to a database, and we're all set. You know, the first hour and 15 minutes in here, but now I can basically show you how to use this application. All right, now. By the way, my application looks pretty cool because I have a skin on it. You can go into this little thing here. This is your extension marketplace. I watched some YouTube videos on what are some cool things to go put on, but I'm going to give you this one. It's called, it's spelled ridiculous. It's supposed to sound like cappuccino, but it's Capuchin. So let's click on it here. I'm going to see if I can copy this. Okay. We're going to go here for VS Code. Mike is using, or for Cursor, but VS Code and Cursor are the same thing. Mike uses this extension called Capuchin for VS Code. And basically what it does is it makes my application, it changes the color of the fonts and all the, this different stuff here, right? Okay, so let's now show you one other extension that you want to download, okay? And it's called Claude Dev, okay? Claude Dev, all right? And then you'll have to put in this other extension. I forget what it is, but you'll find it on YouTube. But you'll just have to Google how to use Claude Dev with SSH. I'm not going to get too much into that. It's pretty easy to find. So every time you start a new app, Claude Dev needs to be able to talk to the cloud, and now it does. Okay, so what is Claude Dev? Well, Claude Dev is kind of like an extension that automates everything. I don't like to use it once my code is up, but what I like about it is this thing just goes ham. It's like full automation mode. So what we're going to do now is we're going to load up Claude Dev by looking for this little icon here. And so these are basically, different, in VS Code, they're all on the side. Cursor and put them up here. So what you want to do is you want to go to this little guy right here and click on the settings and add your API key. They now add Open Router. I'm not using that. I'm going to continue to use Anthropic. Why is this? I guess I never set it up on this machine. Okay. So I'm just going to use Anthropic because I like Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So I'm going to go to Anthropic again, and I'm going to get my API key. And from what I remember, it showed it to you guys. So I'm just going to go off screen, click get a new API key, create a night key for Claude Dev Mac Studio. Okay. Create an API key, copy, close. All right. So I just went to Anthropic. They don't give you a lot of credits per day for tokens. It goes pretty fast. So I asked for more and they gave me more. So let's just, because I have this on my laptop, I guess I never used it here. Use custom base URL. I don't really know what that is, so I'm going to shut that off. All right, let's go. All right, so now Claude Dev is ready to work. And what I like about Claude Dev is this thing is just an autonomous beast, and it does one thing that VS Code doesn't do, and that's anytime you need to run a command in the terminal, Cursor always tells you, take this command, go run it in the terminal. Because running terminal commands can be tricky. You really don't want to give an automated computer access to your terminal. This thing does, but it confirms with you, and you have to hit yes, yes, yes. And what I like about Cursor Composer is you don't have to hit yes. It just does everything. So what we're going to do right now is go through a couple of things that you need to know about Cursor. These are really, really important. Number one is your Cursor rules and your system settings. So let's go back to our Google Doc, and we're going to put in here Add Anthropic. That's Claude API key. All right. Now for Cursor Composer, if you pay $20 a month, you don't have to use your own API key, but with Claude you do. So we did that. So step number 6, we want to do settings and cursor rules. All right. So if you go into my settings, now this is cursor settings. Okay. You're not going to find all, yeah, you will in here. You want to go into your models, and I want to shut off everything other than Claude 3.5 Sonnet and the new Chat GPT-4 models and the O1 preview. But I like to code with 3.5 Sonnet, and I like to do project planning with O1 preview. So let's go back to the settings here. And they have rules for cursor, okay? And I have my laptop over here. So I'm gonna text my rules to myself because I've never used cursor on my desktop. I do everything up at home. Remember I told you I do all this stuff at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know? All this stuff is at 3 a.m. in the morning. From 11 p.m. till 3 a.m. So I don't, you know, when I'm down here in the studio, I'm not really working too much on that stuff. So let me load up cursor here and just text that to myself. Go to settings. Let's dismiss. We don't need you, sir. All right, rules for AI. Oh, this computer is making a little noise as it's trying to load something, and it's going. I thought it was my stomach growling. Oh my God, my stomach is growling. Crazy. All right, so I'm going to text that to myself. Okay, and then I'm also going to text myself these cursor rules that I have in another file. Just has to sync with the cloud. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I can get my cursor rules from Replit. Okay, so I just text that stuff to myself. Let me open up my text message, my texts over here. Oh, Larry Lloyd sent me a text. So Mike Filsame said to Mike Filsame. So I put here this. This is, I'm going to put this into the Google Docs for you. Don't ask the user to make changes to the code base. You always do it using Composer. The user added all of his keys to the secrets folder. When using Composer, act autonomously. You make all the changes. It's just, I found out when I didn't have that in the system prompt that it would tend to sometimes just start telling me, go do this. And it's supposed to automatically do it. And I would basically say, 49 times out of 50, it does it. But then every now and then it forgets it's autonomous and it just starts writing the code and saying, go create a file. And I'm like, you do it. And I'm arguing, you're supposed to, oh, that's right. And so I found out by adding this, it makes that mistake a lot less. All right. So that's that. Now, these are the cursor rules that these guys gave us. I want to change up some of these rules. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into my Replit, and I'm just going to grab my cursor rules that I have here. I like mine better. Okay. So we're going to just take this and we're going to paste this in here like this. Okay. And these are mine. Very, very similar. And I'll go over basically what this is. So let me add these rules for you to this document. So for settings, all right, and for cursor rules file, that's something that you will find in your code right here. And this is something that cursor reads a system prompt before it executes anything. Okay, so that's your cursor .cursor rules. So for cursor rules file, and I'm going to change this document up. I think you'll appreciate it. We're simply going to make it a different type of page. It's pageless, so it's not going to have any page breaks anymore. Okay, so let's go here. paste this. I'm going to change this to cursor rules. And if you want to know the cursor rules that Mike uses, that's just these right here. Okay. Let's put that into a text file. And we're going to make that even smaller because we don't want to really take up too much space in this document, with this stuff. It's just copy paste stuff. All right. So that's the cursor rules. Number 7 we'll get to in a minute. Okay. All right. So let's read these rules. What is actually going on in with my rules here? I'm basically telling it before it does anything. Let's see if I can make this bigger. I don't like that. We'll just do it this way. You are an expert in TypeScript, which is just basically a layer on top of JavaScript. It's if you use React without TypeScript, your app can break very, very easily, and it forces you. It's basically your parents telling you, no. That's for Joe and I, not Joe and me, right? It's basically it forces proper syntax on top of React. Now, the reason why people used to like something, I think it's called Angular by Microsoft. Angular basically was this very strict type of coding for JavaScript, and React took off because it's kind of like WordPress. It's this open source plugin marketplace for React. Took off, but it was a real horrible way to write, and people hated React. And a couple of years back, TypeScript became a layer that you put on top of React to basically make React work more like Microsoft Angular, and it's a very professional way. And so our app is meant to work with not only React components. And what are React components? That's something like you see here that we use at Groove AI. When you have a component library that looks like like this. These are React components. What are they? They're just basically presets for drop-downs, pop-ups, things like that. But this stuff gets real ugly. It conflicts with everything unless you're using TypeScript. So we are using, in our tech stack on the front end, we're using React components with ShadCN UI, with Tailwind, with TypeScript. Okay, and that's basically that's one of the best that is the best front-end tech stack you can use, period, the end. I don't care who argues with me. It's the best front-end tech stack, in my opinion. All right. And on the back end, we're using Next.js and Node.js and Firebase. Okay. So Node.js competes with like Python and PHP and things like that. All right. So we're basically telling it that we're using TypeScript, Next.js as our app writer, React, Tailwind, follow Next.js 14 app writer. Basically, I've copied that from them. All projects are listed here. There are some pre-configured APIs in this template that can be used, but only if required by the project. Firebase is here. OpenAI, all of this, different stuff, is all basically here. All right. So, oh, you know what? Sorry, guys. This is their cursor rules. I want to use my cursor rules from my other project. So I need to go into Groove Chat. Sorry about that. I have a different set of cursor rules. I didn't like their rules. All right, so let's find it here. Okay, this is the one that I want to use. Okay, so let's put that here, and let's add that back here. And I need to update my cursor rules here. All right, yeah, so you can see this is a little bit different. I'm telling them that I'm using ShadCN UI with the New York theme. And there's a lot more stuff that I found. This is basically like a system prompt that just makes makes things work a lot better. I would recommend that you use theirs. When you do the template, it's up to you if you want to switch. This was very much, might have been very much made for, the Groove chatbot. So I'm not telling you that mine is gospel. So you could use theirs or mine. Okay. So let's go back to theirs. Oh, by the way, you can see I already made the change, so it's synced. It already just synced up. All right, so theirs will be in the market in theirs when they sign up. Now, just so you know, I'm just going to add this different thing here. For those of you that are geeks, you can Google something called cursor directory or cursor.directory. These different prompts are pre-made for different types of apps that you might be using. So if you decide to use Supabase instead of Firebase, you want to copy this. Right? If you're using PHP and you're like, oh, thank you, Mike, I'm a PHP developer, I like Laravel, or I prefer to type in, with Python, you'll be able to come here and get pre-made prompts that you can just paste in there. But it's always good to read it and make sure that it aligns perfectly with the way that you're doing. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to build our application. Now, so there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm not going to use the cursor. I'm going to use I'm not going to use the Claude Dev. I'm going to do everything all in Cursor Composer today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to ChatGPT. And by the way, are you guys aware of this new ChatGPT function? I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, they're making it so hard for me. We're going to have to program this into Groove.ai because it's just friggin' spectacular. The thing is, they didn't make this for developers. They only made it for ChatGPT. If you're not paying attention and you're bored and you're working on something else right now, make sure to tune in because this new ChatGPT with Canvas is OpenAI's answer to Claude Dev Artifact side window. So check this out, guys. We're going to take a 10-minute break and go over this new crazy feature here. I'm going to close this to give me some more room here. And I'm going to put in here, write me a blog post about Ben Franklin. Now watch what happens. See that? It created an artifacts window, or what they call a canvas. Okay, big deal. All right, but what's happening is you're having more of a chat over here, and anytime you see something like this with a document, you could click on it. So watch what I mean. You know what? I meant George Washington. Look what it's doing. It's rewriting the same document here. It's rewriting the document right there. And I have a chat that's going on here. Now watch what I want to do here. I want to make this a fictional character in an alternate universe. Don't worry about the typos. Let's call him Neo DeOne. Just having a little fun right there. All right. And watch what happens to my document. Washington's legacy. It's the same exact document, but it now just changed the character. It's going line by line and changing the character. Now I have iteration things that I could go back here, George Washington, Ben Franklin, just like that. And I can even just do something like this. Highlight, ask ChatGPT, can you expand on this? It's going to re-highlight it and expand on it even more. And then it's done. So I've got my chat over here, but my document over here. Guys, this is a real big game changer. This is an all new ChatGPT. And then I got this little thing over here where I can suggest edits. All right. And then what it's going to do, it's going to act like a friggin' Google Doc. You ever in a Google Doc and you go in and like somebody on your team is like, I suggest this, I suggest this, and I suggest this. And you're like, well, I think my writing's pretty good, but who needed your opinion? Just kidding, right? But this is where the team is basically giving you suggestions. So this is now like a Google Doc where you have an AI suggestion going in and you could just be like, yeah, apply that. Apply that. Watch this. It's going to rewrite it. Right? Don't necessarily agree with that. I'm going to delete that. Yeah, let's. This is a pretty good suggestion right here. Let's apply it. Changed it. Now I think it's written a little bit to Wikipedia. So let's do this. Let's go to this one right here called reading level, right? And let's drag this down to like a middle school reading level. Let go and just rewrite it. This is, pardon me for taking off in the middle of a session, but this is only available with ChatGPT 4 Omni. It's not available for us developers. It's only available with ChatGPT. It's not available with the new O1 models. But what else do they have here? I must have clicked something. Oh, I see what I did. I'm going to click stop. They have adjust the length. So let's click on that, and I can make it longer or shorter, right? Let's just make it shorter, just see what happens. It's basically going through each paragraph and condensing it. And if I made it longer, it would have expanded. So now it's even shorter. And now I can do add final polish and add emojis. Let's add emojis. I think this makes it look ridiculous. They add way too many emojis, way too many. All right. So if you don't like that, you just go back and we'll go to this one. And then we can restore this version. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the last one here, and that's add final polish. And now it goes through and it automatically checks for grammar, and it's the final polish. Now watch what we're going to do here. Make this rank well for SEO for the keyword. Let's see, founding. Sorry, guys. Fathers and the Matrix. Okay, just having fun with you. And get this copy paste ready for my blog. I want H1 and H2, and I like to use tags, bold, and please add some images in there of Neo from the Matrix looking like George Washington. Typos and all, don't worry about it. Let's just see if we can do this. I have no idea if we can do this. I'd be very surprised if it adds images in here. If it does, I'm going to be quite blown away, to be quite frank with you. All right, it messed up the image. All right, so it didn't do a good job with the image. I don't know if that's a bug with ChatGPT or not.
No, that's what I always get when I try. I could never get him to just come out with an image.
Well, this is a new feature, Matt, the canvas.
Yeah.
So I thought you can't get it to come up with a canvas with an image.
I didn't try with canvas.
No, Matt, just ChatGPT. You just if you're in the O model, you just say, make me an image of Neo from the Matrix.
Yes, that will work.
Looking like George Washington.
Yes.
Yeah, so what problem do you have?
So when I try to create a whole website or a whole page, that I can't pull it off.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that within Cursor, right? And then it would be really cool. And then within Cursor, I can never pull it off.
Yeah. So, all right, thanks, Matt. So anyway, guys, I wanted to show you this. There's a lot more stuff that you can do with this. Like right here, you can just say, rewrite this and make it more hyped. And literally right there, inline editing. Oh, it looks, I guess I messed that up. It looks like, no, I know for a fact that it would do just the highlighting. Can you make this headline better? There's a lot of videos on it today. This just came out yesterday. Yeah, so it just changed that. Okay, yeah, for some reason, before it started changing other stuff. But you can see this iteration stuff is pretty badass. I got to admit, you know, I looked at it and I was like, damn, they changed the game. They really did. And if you were to do something like this, make me the problem. I keep having this typo is this this thing is literally on top of my left hand, so I gotta move it out of the way, but then it blocks my key, so you're not gonna hear me as well, but now I can type better. Make me a snake game in Python. And when you're now working with the canvas, you're gonna realize that the code gets put over here. And for developers, those of you guys that use like ChatGPT or Claude for developing, what you're gonna realize here is I'm just going to say, make it snazzier. So instead of just, it's literally going to take the same exact code that we have here, and it's not going to change anything. It's going line by line. This is a game changer, guys, game changer. And it's not rewriting the code. It's just going in and adding things into the code. So iteration of coding has really just changed. It's like, and if this this model is made over to developers, we're going to start using this, I'm sure, instead of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. All right, let's go back to ChatGPT. The reason that we came here. This is pretty badass stuff, though. We're going to go to the preview model, the O1 preview model. All right, let me take a little sip. Forgot to hit the mute button. Whoa, that would have been tough. This is where we want to take our time. We're going to basically tell ChatGPT, okay, I want you to help me write a project outline to be used for AI cursor composer use Bing if you don't know what that is, and I think it does. All right, but you know, this model might have been. Oh, and I don't even think O1 preview can use Bing. So we're just going to. It is an AI code editor forked from VS Code. That's all it needs to know. It doesn't even really need to know that. Okay. Okay, so what I want to build is an app that has authentication with Google. For now, we don't use username and password. Now, we could just start doing this with Cursor, but it's better to create the whole outline, and then we're going to create a file and tell it to look at this part of the outline and do step 7, do steps 8, do steps 9, etc., etc. Right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, for now, make a generic page for the website, and we need a forgot password page as well. Okay, for the app, I want it to be a clone of ChatGPT's GPTs or platform.openai.com assistants. Basically, I want users to be able to create their own GPT assistants and not rely on the SaaS platform I know you don't have to fix typos, but you know, it's just hard to see. Yeah, I'm sure you're all the same way. Seeing these little squiggly lines just gets in your head, right? Their own GP and not rely on the SaaS platform to create them for them. the user can choose to make them private or list them in the marketplace. Now, guys, I'm going to make this simple. Like if I was really doing this, I just want to really get this thing off the ground. We're already, coming up to the second hour. I would basically say I want them to be able to give it away for free or sell it if they want, where they integrate with their Stripe account. But I think you get that. We will get there, but I want to start the coding, right? Okay, so let's just keep going forward here. List them in the marketplace for free for other users to import the GPT into their own account. For now, let's just do this. For now, let's make it where all users will use the OpenAI account of the SaaS platform. And they will use the Pinecone vector. So that means no APIs got to get set up or anything like that. Vector database of the SaaS platform. So the user will not have to bring their own API keys. For now, the SaaS platform will incur all costs. The user should be able to create a GPT with all of the settings from OpenAI's platform for developers. But okay. I think that's good for now. Okay. What I need you to do is create a step-by-step outline, very detailed, that I can give to the AI developer to create this platform. Right now, there's a couple of things. I think in my cursor rules in my other platform, I said the user brings their own API key. So I got to get rid of some of these rules, I think, here. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go back to their original cursor rules that they had. Let me see in the history here if there's if I can go back to the original. Yeah. I'm going to use their original one from here, and I'm going to add some of my stuff in there, reset this version. That'll sync back with mine. I'm going to copy this cursor rules. It looks like it did that here as well. So there are some things that I want to go back in here and later put in there about the ShadCN. So bear with me just a second, guys. I do want to get that ShadCN stuff in there. Let's go to here. Groove Chat. I do like the stuff that I put in here. So I'm going to put this back into this. I like that. I like this. Don't ask me to do anything. You can handle it on your own. You're autonomous. I'm a beginner with coding. This is stuff that I put in there. I also like this. I'm telling it where my development URL is. So I'm going to put that in here as well. I'm just going to add a new line. Thing is, I got to get my development URL over here. Okay. Rules for OpenAI. The OpenAI key is stored in the variables. I think that, ooh, hold on just a second. I did that in the wrong one. Yeah, I think everything else here is good. Okay, we saved and we updated. All right, let's close that so I know that I'm working in the right one here. All right, so let's go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to take some stuff here and basically tell it this information here. Here are notes I already gave to the AI. I am giving it to you so that you know my tech stack. Right? Because I wanted to know the tech stack that I'm using so it doesn't start saying, do this with Python. And so we're basically going to give it this right here. I'm just going to put start tech stack. And we're going to put end. Okay, I think we have what we need, right? I'm just going to leave it like this. I think, guys, if I'm going to be frank with you, if I was really making this for my own, somebody wants me to add this to the Google Doc. Mike goes to Chat GPT using the O1 preview model, and he types in that prompt. Okay. And I don't know why this is all double spaced. Let's see if I can go to format, line, paragraph spacing, single. Yeah, don't really know why that happened. Yeah, it wants to double space. I have no idea. Let me see if I can get rid of that and fix that. I might be able to fix that. Hold on. All right, let's just start this at an 8 Courier, Courier 10. Let me paste that into something like this. And we might be able to get away with this now. Yeah, there we go. Don't ask me how I did that, but I've dealt with text editors a long time. All right, so you guys are seeing the prompt that I'm going to use. Let's just let it rip. Now, what I was going to say is if I was going to be making this, I would be spending a lot more time giving details that I want, but I really want to get to the coding. So we're going to create an outline, and I've never done it this way before, guys. I've never done it this way. Now, look, it's thinking. It's going to take about 30 seconds to probably think and put this together, and that's why you want to use ChatGPT 01. While this is thinking, what I want to do is let you know that over here with Cursor Composer, there's a few things that you want to know. So number one, to open up the terminal, you're going to need to be going Command J. That opens up your terminal, closes. J, Command J, Command J. Control if you're on a PC, right? All right, that's one. Number two is you have Command L, which is old school. I hardly ever use it. Command L opens up the chat window over here. Okay, and that's kind of like having ChatGPT. You talk to it, and as you're talking to it, it tells you what to do. And it used to tell you, and then you'd have to go here and create a file and a page, but it doesn't. You don't have to do that anymore. There's something called Command I, and Command I opens up Cursor Composer, but I never use Command I. I use Command Shift I, and that opens up Cursor Composer in this big. It takes over the whole Cursor app, and all of your files work over here, et cetera, et cetera. And now you can also just do a regular Command I and hit this little thing right here and open it big and then close it back back down. So this is kind of like, you know, expand mode, etc. And they also have Command I. And if you have the chat window open, you can now drag this window over into the chat. There's a way to do it. It's in the updates that I gave you. I forget exactly how to do that. It's like a Command Shift, something like that, that puts Cursor Composer in the chat. I don't do that. I prefer to just have it where I hit Command Shift I, and I just work on it like I'm working on like ChatGPT. All right. There's a few things I'm going to show you that are critical here that you're going to need to know that will, if you don't know, you're going to break the app and have very difficulties going backwards. All right. But if you're going to notice back here, oh, and let me just show you what I mean about like the Command K. If you're in a file, let's find components. We'll find your different pages and stuff, right? We don't have too many pages in this app, but let's just say that you're in a file. I'm looking for something that might have a lot of code in it. The Command K model is what developers like, real developers, people that like, not like me, that are reading the code and now want to just like highlight this and then hit Command K and say, make this function. Oh, let's just do this. Let's say it was a button, right? Let's just pretend this was a button. Make this bounce on hover, right? And you would hit submit. And it would just take that bit of code and basically show you what it added, and you can accept it, or just hit accept all or hit reject. I'm going to hit reject and now my code is safe. But that's just to basically show you that if you're a regular developer that actually likes to go in and just like, you know, use natural language to rewrite a section, or look at this, I can take everything here and I can hit Command K and I can say refactor this code. Like that. Okay. I'm going to let it do whatever it's doing, wait till it's done, and I'm just going to hit reject. Just want to give you some examples on what could be done. And also, the very, very, very first stuff is like this type of stuff. If you were to write code, and I don't want to break anything, so I'll just hit Control Z a few times. So if you were to do something like if, you see right here, connection state. So I'm just going to hit tab, and it basically knows like what you want to write. So I'm just going to hit Control Z all the way back to the beginning, right? I don't want to mess anything up here. Okay, we're back to the beginning there. I'm going to hit Control. Anytime you see a dot up here like this, that means your work isn't saved. So you have to hit Control S. I'm just going to hit Control V, go all the way back to my beginning there, and you hit Control S. And anytime you have a dot there, that means you have a file that is not saved. So my cursor rules file, I'm going to hit Control S and save it. Okay. But let's see, how long did it take? It took 44 seconds for this project here. So all of this stuff I don't necessarily need to run the Next.js project. So I'm going to tell it this. I should have told it this. Have everything installed in my tech stack. I do not want any npm. npm is just commands that run things in your terminal when you're using Next.js. npm terminal commands. All I want is just an outline that we will follow. Please assume that I already have the tech stack built in my IDE. Okay, so I'm going to just add this into the doc. So that you have that command pre-built in. Paste without formatting. Okay, so I just added that for you guys. All right, it's doing it again. So am I okay with the fact that it did this? Creating authentication. All right, I'm just going to copy all this, whatever. Yeah, I basically what I want is just an outline, and I don't want it to get too nitty gritty here. But I'm going to copy it without all that stuff, and just I think we're going to be pretty good. Let's see. And I didn't set up Pinecone, so I'm going to need to do that. But I'm just going to copy all of this for now, and I'm going to put it into. And you don't need this because you're gonna get your own output here. So I'm going to try something I've never done before. I'm going to go into this source right here, or the top directory. Let me see if I can create a file, add a new file. Add file to cursor chat. Did it add the, well, I want to create a file or new file. And I think I have to be in the top directory up here. So I think I have to click this and click, see, I'm not some of you guys are just so quick at doing this. So, okay, we want a new file. And there it is. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to call this outline, dot outline. Okay, and let me see if that created a file for me. It did. And I'm going to paste my outline in there. Okay. So project outline, custom building GPT. Assumptions. We don't need some of this stuff in here. All right. All right, we have our outline. Okay, so now we're going to go back to cursor. What we're seeing in here, these are like these things that look like Chrome tabs. These are just multiple files that you can have open at any particular time. So we're going to start with nothing open. And what I'm going to do it now, I usually have done this before with Claude Dev, and I just tell Claude Dev to do it. In fact, I'm probably going to use this with Claude Dev. Watch, because I told you to install this extension. Let's just for now, I'm going to say, please, just some of the easy stuff. Convert this app to work with SHAD CN UI components with Tailwind. I want to be able to change the color at any time with a color picker, and I want to be able to use light mode and dark mode. All right. Let's see. We'll just do that just for now because I want to show you how this works. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to add that to another step in the project document here. And I think that we said Claude Dev number 5. So we're going to do number 8. Let's just type that in there. Grab this. I'm going to put open Claude Dev extension. This is a fully autonomous developer. Be careful. Only use at start of project. It can go rogue when your app is mature and working, unless you're a developer and know what you're doing. But if you're a beginner, trust me, you're going to want to follow my tips on this one. All right. Because when you're working with code, you'll have something that's working. And trust me when I tell you, you'll have something that's been working for 3 days and you break it and you can't go back. So I'm not going to get into some things like getting your code on GitHub and working in a coding environment. You're going to need to learn some of those things so that you don't break your code. But let's just for now, the other people show you that in the videos that I showed you. So I'm going to hit enter. By the way, you could add images here and stuff like that. But the reason why I want to use SHAD-CN components is because that's going to allow me to go to V0. We always want to be in the V0 chat. Okay, that's going to allow me to go here and say, create a login page for me, for my SaaS app, and make it look snazzy. Use 2 columns, use SHAD-CN, and use the New York theme. And for now, use light theme. All right, so I'm going to copy this and just put this in the document, right? Might as well just do everything that we have here. And so let's just do this. This is number 9. Example at v0.dev/chat. So you're seeing that I'm usually telling it to use. And so what does that mean, right? If we go to SHAD-CN, right? This is a UI component library. It's really not a library. It's more of a framework, right? To build your library. But if you click on components or blocks, you will see here that I don't like this default theme. It's these headings are very big. The New York theme, there's only 2, makes these a lot smaller, right? See where it says walking distance and progress? Watch in the regular theme, your app is going to be too fat. So I like the New York theme. That's why you see me say that, right? The different colors, right? They have a lot of different colors in there. I just prefer their light theme. It's just basically an all gray. Everything will basically look like customized New York slate. This is basically what I'm using. So my apps look like this. But I told it to allow the user to basically be able to change the color. Okay. So I'm trying to let you know what happened. So I'm going to hit enter here. And this is kind of like what I just showed you with ChatGPT's new canvas. It's going to open up a screen on your right now. Boom, just like that. And now in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're going to see the preview open up just like that. And I've just built myself a login page. And I forgot to do something here. I meant to say, my mistake. I want this page to have sign in only with Google, not user and pass, right? So I'm going to copy and paste that and put this over here for you guys so that you won't have to do it the way that I did. All right, so that's there now. And we can now, where were we? V0, right? Now it's redoing my page for me. And I might even use this page, and I'll show you basically like how that works and how you. I don't think I'll get into changing the logo today. That would be if we're doing a very, very long session. But like I'm going to show you later how we're going to be able to use a page like this in our application. So I know for a fact that I need to install SHAD-CN in there, but I'm pretty sure Cursor Claude Dev will automatically know to do this for me. And look at that, it does. It's basically telling me it needs to run this npm command install. Now, if I wasn't using Claude Dev and I was using Cursor, it would have told me, because it doesn't do this, and I would have open up Command J, and I would have had to take this and copy here and add that right into here. But I'm pretty comfortable doing those things now. You're not, and that's why I said, you know what, let me just do Claude Dev, because it'll just do all of this stuff automatically for us and run these commands. Okay, it just basically installed everything that is needed to run those components. Now we need to do Tailwind. I'll take a little sippy here. All right, and you see this is new with Claude Dev. It's basically saying, hey, here are the changes that are being made. You can just click Save. See how autonomous this is? It's just going on and writing the code. You know, there's 10 more people here than there was when we first started. I'm very surprised that many of you stuck around for the for the AI coding. But right now, I'm just basically hitting yes, yes, yes. I'm just basically letting an AI agent, from the Matrix, just go and do all of this. Guys, I'm coding. I'm coding right now. Okay, it's creating files, it's writing code. It's literally this simple. Now, I'm showing you something complex. I would highly recommend you start by creating a Tetris game, just for your very first project. To say I want to create Tetris, because you're going to learn how it works and how it breaks. So it's writing all of this stuff in here for us. It's putting everything in that is required for this project. This is a little bit boring for us because, this can go on for a minute or two. And it's basically telling me, the cost. This just cost me less than a penny, to do this. It's updating my entire library. And this will probably take another minute or two because I didn't give it a ton of commands here. It says, great, we're done. I think we're done. All right. I love that it can automatically do these npm install commands for me. Those of you that are into coding, because I know some of you are like, hey, I like people to do things for me. Those of you that would have considered yourself a person like this, yes, I have installed WordPress. I'm not scared of Groove Pages and setting up a product. I've actually helped people set up a funnel before. When you tell me to go to OpenAI and get an API key, it doesn't freak me out. I would basically call myself at most a no-code developer, or I might even dare call myself a low-code developer, meaning that you can kind of look, like if you were to basically see something like this, right? And it said to you to go put this into the header of, your web page. So that's the person I'm talking to that has done stuff like that. But basically says, look, I can install a WordPress, but that's about it. For those of you folks there, who of the people that are in here right now from the Workflow app automation, put a put something in the chat that says I identify with that, or no, I'm all thumbs, or no, Mike, I'm a full stack developer. I'm curious who we have in the chat. So give me a little description of if you consider yourself all thumbs. This looks interesting, but I would never try it. Or I'm a no-code. I consider myself a no-code guy, a low-code guy, or I get my hands wet, or I'm a full stack developer. I'd like to know how you guys identify yourselves. And this is a great way for us to just chat while I just continue to just build this out as it's building it. So People Smart Group says, I identify with that, basically what I was doing. Dana says, interesting, but I would never try it. But what's interesting, Dana, is that you can see this. And if you know anybody techie, you want to get those people in your company, or your business, or your employees, or your partners and stuff, familiar with this. So basically it's refactoring the code right now. Kaya says, lovely, low code person finding this interesting. Right. Okay, great. Awesome. While this is going on, let me take this opportunity to, let me just pop the few of you others here that put something. Assembler developer, and I'm loving this. Holy cow, assembler. Way to go, Len. Way to go. Robert David Watkins says, aging technical guy, but need a clear need project with value to dig into this and create my own app. Okay, so Roger's loving this, obviously. He's like, like me and Matt, people that talk to developers constantly are the people that really love this. Anybody that has a developer that they talk to on Skype and Slack is the type of person that's like, yes, because I have enough that I can talk to my developer and tell them what I need. And you can see what's happening. It's creating all of these pages up here for us. So let me give you guys some, Jocko. I think I'm going to go by the name Jocko. I don't know if it's Yako or Jaco, but I'm going to go with Jocko. Jaco will say maybe, says I identify with that. He deals with a lot of developers and he apparently is liking what we're doing here. So we're going to click this run command here, npm install. That basically gets everything up and running. Npm run dev, I know this command. This command basically is telling, that's what you do on your computer. I'm just going to do it here so you can see what happens. It's now telling me to go look at it, but I know that we're not using the local host to see this in a browser. I am using it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop this and we're going to actually run the server live so I can get an actual URL. I can probably even share it with you guys. And this normally takes about 30 seconds to a minute. And let's see if this REPL is currently not running. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, so it's not running, and I think it's building in the background here. Let's see, is anything happening here? Ready? Looks like it's building the environment. That's one thing you got to be prepared with. That's why I put that into the cursor rules, that we're not running this on a local host. We're running it on a virtual local host in the cloud. So I'm just going to click proceed route while running, let it continue to do what it needs to do here. And I'm going to just stop this one more time. Oh, it looked like it was just about done. Let me close this. So I've got a full preview window here. Let's let it run again. Now, sometimes, guys, this takes about a full 60 seconds to completely get your app up and running. It's basically running a run dev command right now when you click run. Let's just see what's happening in cursor. It's basically says that the development server is now running. Okay, all right, so we're good. So I'm just going to click reject, and I'm going to just ask it here if we're done. Okay, so the task is complete. It says it basically added my Shadcyan components, added a color picker, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so let's just wait for this thing to load here. The replit is currently not running. Deploy this replit to keep it running. Oh, holy cow. Holy cow. I would have been scratching my head if I didn't read this. Guys, we have to deploy our app on Replit. You have to click the deploy button, all right? Big step here, huge step, all right? I'm just gonna put it here. Not everything is always in this exact order, all right? Number 10, make sure, there's a one-time thing, make sure to deploy app in top right of Replit to be able to run app. Then run app. So we got to click deploy. Oh no, I don't want to deploy. Oh, wait a minute. So hold on just a second. No, you don't need to deploy. I know for a fact you don't need to deploy. Is there something else that I need to do here to get this? The replit is currently not running. Deploy this replit. Learn how to deploy. I don't want to deploy. Wait a second. This thing should just work. Let me get out of here. Groove chat failed. That I know. GPT Marketplace. I hope I was in the right app. I hope I was in. Yeah, I might have been in. Okay, good. Now we're running. Okay. Yeah, I hit run and now we're running. Okay, so this is good. This is where we start getting some bugs and we want to tell it to fix it. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that we can do this. All right, I wonder if, now when I go into Replit and I see this, that Groove Chat failed. Hope I didn't break anything there. I might have been in Groove Chat before and not actually in the other app, but whatever the case is, let me get rid of this in the document. You don't need to do this. I'm just going to put this run app. That's all you need to do by clicking the run button. All right, so we got our app running. If I were to copy this URL and share it with all of you guys, you would be able to actually load the app and see that there's a bug. So here's the important stuff that we're going to learn here, because you're going to be getting a lot of this. Your app is going to break a lot, right? When it's usually because of Next.js and JavaScript components. And if one thing isn't working, that's the nice thing with TypeScript. It crashes your entire app. Now, if you talk to Matt Seralta, he says that's a very good thing because this forces you to make sure that your app has no bugs. So there's a couple of ways that we can do this. We could go into Cursor Composer, and we can say, hey, I have this app, or I'm just going to basically just go right here. I'm not going to click Start Task. It has all of this context. I'm just going to say, I got this error. We're going to get to Cursor Composer in a minute, but right now we're still in the beginning phases. Since this was something that broke because Claude Dev, this little extension that uses the Claude developer extension, did it, I'm going to let it fix itself because I want to show you how you fix how it fixes it. It says, oh, I apologize for the oversight. The error is occurring because we use React hooks. Use state instead of use effect. So it'll fix it. Ah, look at that. My app works. Oh, no, just broke again. So we're going to just let it go through everything, and we're going to see if the app actually loads. This is going to be a common thing with you. You're going to be doing stuff, and then the app will work, and then it won't work. It'll work, and it won't work. You can see right now it's picking, it's going through, it's making some changes. We're still getting this error, but let's let it complete its job. And then we're going to actually start coding a user interface. Might have to part two some of this stuff for you guys because I got a call with Larry Loic at 4 o'clock today. Okay, we are on at 4 p.m. I am on a live stream. I will hit you up when I am off. Okay, so it's basically saying that it thinks it fixed it. So what we've got to do now, haha, my app works. Look at that. The app is actually working, guys. I've got a color picker here. Oh my goodness. Do you hate me? Come on. You gotta be hating me just a little bit. Dark mode. Light mode. Ha, this is great. Okay. So I'm going to show you something here. Let's do this. Watch this. You're going to find this pretty interesting. Okay. I don't like this. I do not like this. I want something like this. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. All right. And I don't want to get into all of this stuff here with the theme. So let's do this. Let's get rid of the force it to be New York. Let's get rid of the radius. We don't want them doing that. And not sure what this is. It's probably some type of reset button. Pick a style and color for your components. We don't need style. We'll do style. Let it assume that's light and dark mode, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screenshot. And I'm going to go back to cursor, and I'm going to just see if I can drag this right into here. Let me see here. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Ooh, I thought I was able to put a screenshot there. I know I can with the chat mode over here, but that's not full. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna open up chat by doing Command L because chat allows me to do an image. The problem with Cursor Composer is they don't have a way for you to add an image, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do is I want my app to completely understand. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. Let's do it here. I'm not going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to add that image right here like this. And I'm going to use this little thing here that says @codebase. right? I always like to say at code base. And there's the image. I see it there because that way it reads my entire code base and knows what's going on. I'm just going to say, I want you to give me instructions, not code right now, just an outline of what needs to be done to have the color picker and light and dark mode look like this screen image. Do not write code right now. I just want to have a description of what needs to be done. All right, let's see. It's reading my files. It's looking at my entire directory, and this is what makes Cursor so good. It has context of my code base. And so now, if I would have set the right to code, it would have told me the code to put here and stuff. But basically, what I want to do here is copy all of this. I wrote the code. It shouldn't have. All right. But anyway, I'm going to copy all of this. And I'm going to put this into the Cursor Composer over here. And this might be the last time that we're using it. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to put a little precursor up here. No pun intended on cursor. I want there to be presets for color picker. I do not want an infinite color picker. All right. So now it's going to refactor the code. I'm just talking to Larry Loic. All right. So now, and we're going to be done with Claude Dev. From now on, we're only going to be using Cursor Composer. Remember I said at the beginning, this is more autonomous, but I like to move away from Claude Dev and actually see more of what's going on with my code with Cursor Composer. And that's the more, this is the more beginner-friendly one, especially in the beginning. And I think it's important for you to use to see it this way. But I truly, I think I've been a little mean to you guys. I should probably, I think you probably want to see me here. If you want my face out of the way and you prefer it like this, just let me know which one you prefer. I kind of feel that like you feel more with me here when we do it this way. Now, this is where you're going to learn. Sometimes you got everything working in your code and then it breaks and you're like, I should have just left it. I wanted this little pixel perfect thing, and now it took me an hour to go back and fix it. Now, when that happens to me, it takes me 2 minutes to fix it. You're going to find out when you're first learning this stuff that like I can now look at an error and see what's going on. But I learned, quote unquote, to code by spending a few hours doing that. Either way is fine. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. So it's refactoring the code. It's basically going to be adding a component, changing the component to more of a color picker like this. All right. But it actually didn't see the screenshot, only the chat did. So this is an interpretation of that. So I'm curious how it's going to look. And I'm already up to 47 text messages. All right, save. Yeah, Dan, workflow is down as of 146. Let me tell him it's back up. We'll hit this while I talk to him. Yep, was back up in 15. We were upgrading servers. Yes. Okay. Sorry for the dead air here. Let's see, what's the question here? Could you essentially as the chat. Maybe he means ask the chat. Ask the chat to create a prompt that would create the color picker when requested of Replit. Yes, yeah, we could have. I wanted to just basically show you like how we might do it with a screenshot. Okay, so look, it's saying that it's done. Let's see if my app is broken. All right, so this is a little cheesy, right? But it works. So I'm going to do one last thing here. All right, interesting. Okay, I like that. Okay, I don't necessarily like those colors, and we're not going to get into it now. I just want you to know that they have their own colors over here. These are the colors. And like I could basically take this page and show it the URL and say, hey, these are the approved colors for Shadcn's, these Tailwind colors. I'm not going to get into that right now. I think I'm pretty happy with the fact that it did this. I'm just going to do one last thing here. I'm going to go in here, and this is going to be the last we're going to use this. Okay, cool. The only thing is it's always showing the customize. I want that to be a drop down from an icon. So come up with an icon for customize. Maybe not like a gear. Let it just come up with it, and have the active state off. And when the user clicks on it, only then will it open the customize palette. Allow the user to close the palette by clicking anywhere on the canvas. I could probably even say adding escape, but I'm not going to do that. And also add an X button, an X at the top right to allow the user to close it / toggle it off. Toggle it to close. All right. So this should be pretty quick. It's not going to need a lot of code to basically do something like this. And so what you're learning is that Claude Dev automatically installs the components for you. When we move over to Cursor Composer or anything that we're going to do with Shadcn, it's going to be basically telling us, okay, to add this, we first need to run this command in the terminal, and then we need to click on the code, copy the code, and paste it and talk to it. I'm going to show you essentially how we do something like that. And then I'm going to take a bio break. I'll be back in about 30 seconds, but I just want to get this up and running, and we'll be back in 30 seconds once this is running. So it's basically just making some minor changes to our code here. Our app is still, oh, look at that. You see, that's the nice thing with React. Ah, look at that. Even came up with the right icon. Okay. And what's beautiful is this stuff just happens live. I think this stuff is pretty cool. I know that, setting up an app to work the first time is the boring part, but you can go back and watch this over and over and over again. Now you know how to at least start your own SaaS company. And now, we're going to actually start building the app. We might have to part to this, to actually go and build the entire app. I can't move as fast as I like to. When I have to teach you and I got to break down, show you the Google Doc and stuff, because I really got to make this trainable. This isn't just to look over my shoulder. This is a reference guide for you to go out and start creating your own applications. Do me a favor, guys. Did you learn something where you're like, oh my God, I think I can actually do this now? Okay, so here we go. My app is working. Right now. I'll probably go back later and change the colors, but we've got a light mode and dark mode. There's a problem with the light mode. It's breaking it. It breaks it in light mode. Something happens in light mode that I'm just going to, it's not keeping the actual color in dark and light mode. I just have to tell it that. It's driving me crazy. Okay, when I click light and dark mode, things like the buttons, what actually is happening? The button backgrounds are not taking on the, or not keeping the user's choice of color they chose in the color picker. All right, we'll let it fix that. I'm going to hit the men's room. I'll be right back. I won't be able to click the little go button, so I'll just wait for it to give me one command, and then I'll get out of here and be back in 30 or 40 seconds. Robert says, yes, I am sure that I can do this on my own when I have the time needed to set up and debug properly. Thanks, Mike. People Smart Group says this has been great. Good. I'm glad you like this. And yes, there as well. All right, I'm going to click this, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All righty. Okay, so let's just let it fix this. And this is a lot of what, AI coding is. Regular coding is actually your hands are going at all times. With AI coding, it's kind of like you're working with your landing page developer, where you're like, hey, can you move that over there? And he's like, okay, give me a minute. And then you just see him working, and he says, okay, refresh. And you're like, okay. Like, so you're not actually coding. So a lot of it is just giving instructions and waiting for watching code get written. But it's obviously 10 times faster than even a regular coder could do. I'm sure there's a coder on here that's like, I could have built this app in 10 minutes and had that color picker. Right. Building the foundation, maybe they could do a lot quicker. But by the time that we start actually building the app, there's no way that a coder from 2 years ago would have been able to keep up with this. Even the world's best 10x coders. The thing is those 10x coders are 1,000x what you and I are able to do, because they also, get the Iron Man suit. All right, looks like we're wrapping up. It's let's see the question here. Mike, when will we be able to use this to create functionality in group pages and group blog, etc.? All right, so, I'm thinking of doing a state of the Groovian. So, I think not everybody's on every call. The company we were merging with, and I wasn't supposed to say anything because we were under an NDA at the time, but the deal is now off. We were going to be merging with a company called Genius Group, GNS. And their stock basically went from like 150 million down to, I don't know, let's see where they are today. And by the way, I don't understand what's going on with that company. They're valued at 15 million, which was less. We were doing a $28 million valuation for Groove. But, if you look at them here, you can see that a year ago, they were at $11 a share, and today they're at 82 cents a share. So they went from, and if you go back, even more than that, you can see that when they were at $11 a share. Last year, when we started talking to them, they were at $67 a share, and at one time, $96 a share. So they went from being worth $500 million. But if you just forget that, that was when their IPO, like a $200 million company. And by the way, they do 200. This is publicly traded, so I'm not giving away any of the secrets. They're going to do about 110 million this year in revenue. So you explain to me why a company that's doing 110 million is only worth 15 million. I'll tell you what it is. They're being attacked by basically hedge funds. Everything that you saw in the movie, the GameStop movie, there are hedge fund companies that are shorting this company and creating bad press for them. And so you could say, Mike, I'm sorry to hear that. The truth is, guys, I got to be honest with you. If I would have gotten right here when we started talking with them in May, it was actually in March, we would have went from right here, $6 a share down to 80 cents a share. I would have taken a bath. My valuation, because I wasn't getting cash. I would have went from basically a $28 million valuation, and my stock worth, if I wanted to sell it, would have been worth about $3 million. So we dodged a bullet, but it was unfortunate. We were going to merge with this company. We were going to do a lot of great things. So that kind of, put it off to an end. But we are working with another person in California, and I don't like to talk too much about this, and it's no promises for anybody, but we're looking to close a deal. He's going to be raising money, starting his own company, wants to merge it with Groove. We're going to be getting some cash, but what he's looking to do is pump in a couple of $1 million into development and do a lot of stuff. No changes with Groove. All the stuff is going to stay the same, but he wants to turbocharge everything with AI development. We just agreed on a $500,000 development that's going to get ported into Groove to update Laravel, optimize our database, change the user interface, start adding full AI into the app, and doing AI page building and iteration, like make this button bounce. And I got to be careful, showing you the entire list of stuff that we want to do. But basically, it's doing Groove Survey, Groove Calendar, Groove. It's basically taking a 3-year plan and condensing it down into 9 months to a year. Anyway, those talks are actually happening. Matt is here now. He'll tell you we just signed that contract the other day, and he's going out and putting that stuff in motion. It was a little devastating thing when that happened to us with Genius Group, but it turns out we actually dodged a bullet. All right, so take a look at that. We now got this here, and let's see when we. So now the color picker doesn't even work. So I think I'm just gonna let me just put here. Let's go over to Cursor Composer now. Let's get rid of this here. I'm going to show you how Cursor Composer works. Let's go back to our regular file structure. Let's just close down everything that was done in Cursor, in Claude Dev, and let's start using Cursor Composer. All right. So there's a couple of things that are really important. Number one is when you hit Command-Shift-I and you open up Cursor Composer, the first thing that you want to do is when you click Create New, you can create these new notepads. And notepads are kind of like mini projects where you're giving the context one time. But this is in the updates that I gave you on in the YouTube videos in the playlist. I'm going to show you a little bit more old school, and I'm just going to do it basically the way that I always did it. So the first thing is, what you want to do is you want to add files, and that's always telling it what are we working on. So right now, I'm just going to basically click on the global CSS, the theme provider, maybe model toggle and things like that. I'm just going to click the layout to drop down. You'll start getting used to some of this stuff. These are the pages inside the app that you're referring to. So you want to give a context on what we're working on. I always, this is a must. You must always start Cursor Composer when using Composer. You must always give context of what pages you are working on. You must always start all chats with @codebase. You should also tag files in your natural talking or text. And you should never accept all changes. You should always first hit save and then test app. If app is working and not crashed, you can hit accept all. If you hit save and app crashes, attempt to talk to cursor to iterate and feed it the bugs to help it fix app. Then hit save, test app, and if working, then and only then accept all changes. I'm going to explain that for you guys here when we look at this. So remember, we always start with @codebase. Okay. And then what we want to do is we basically want to say something like the color picker is no longer working the way it should. Let me explain. When I click on a color, the UI does not change. All right, so let's go back to here and let's actually see what was happening. Yeah, the UI does not change. The light mode and dark mode. The light mode and dark mode does not work anymore. And when in light mode, you don't see dark mode, you don't see buttons. All right, and that's it. Now, what I meant by doing @tags to something is usually you'll do something like here, and you'll just put the name of the file or something like this. And you can find that just by going into your files like this and looking for a particular page and saying like, you know, I might just do this like color picker, right? The other thing that you want to do is know that you can do this @web, and then I can put in a URL for a document. So let's say I was using shadcn documents, right? Right? And let's say I just wanted it, to read that website. I would do something like that. The other thing that you can do is if you're using documents over and over again, like for a particular framework, what you can do is you can do @docs and then add a document permanently that you could use over and over again and just reference it. So you could say something like, make sure to read @docs and then find the file that you've uploaded, like, shadcn UI or whatever it may be. All right. So those are really important things that we're going to do. But for right now, we're just going to, I'm talking to my developer now. That's what Cursor Composer is. I'm talking to it like my developer is on the other side, of the country, and we're talking in Skype, and I'm talking to him like this, and he's going to talk to me like this. And when I reference these pages, it's kind of like I gave him, hey, on this page, right? If I'm talking to my developer about WorkflowApp.com/JV, and I was to tell him that this video isn't working, I would give him this page, right? So that's all you're doing when I tell you to, in the chat, to give him the page. So now let's see what happened. It opened up this work area. Now we could slide this. This is the chat that I'm having. This is telling me the pages that it's working on, and this is the code that it's working on for each individual page. Right? Now, the suggested view is telling you what's working. Most real developers prefer to have the diff view, and that's showing them this is what it was, this is what's happening. I'm not a developer. I like this. Now, remember what I told you. Never, ever hit accept all. If we do this, we cannot go back. I must stress this. Never hit accept all. If I hit accept all and it's broken and I type back to it, you messed it up. It's not working. My site is live with 300 users. Please go back and make it the way it was. It's like, it doesn't know. So that's why we want to do this thing here called save all. Okay. Now, when I click save, I can go to my app and see if it's working. And it's not, right? So I can now go back here and be like, hey, the color picker is still not working. And if I hit accept, now what happens if I try to fix this for the next 20 minutes and I'm like, screw it, I can just hit reject all, and then it's like we never did this. Every bit of code that we're trying to fix this bug right now, it's a beautiful thing. It's like we're going back to resetting. We can literally say, all right, let's start over from the beginning by hitting reject all. So I'm going to say, okay, again, when I click on and that's why I don't like to use like the Claude Dev. There was no way to go back. That when I click on a button, I can. I'm sorry. When I click on a color, it is still not working. And light and dark mode are still not working. Now you're going to notice it still has all of this context here. So I don't need to re-add that again. And I don't need to do the @code base again. I might do that like every 10 or 15 minutes because it's starting to lose some of the context and I want to refeed it back some information. But so as you see here, all I did was hit save, but I didn't hit accept. I don't want to hit accept because that permanently writes all of this code. Right now, we're in a development environment with my code. My code is technically untouched. It's giving me preview code that I can test it. But once I hit accept, we have committed those changes, all right? And so I can see every single page that it's working on right here, and I can click the diff view so that I can see the difference between the two different pages that are. So these are all the pages that it's currently working on right now, all right? But I'm going to stay in the suggested view and just stay with the chat. It seems like it's done, all right? These changes should fix the problem. Save all, and let's see. So we're having a problem here. I don't want to get stuck in this, debugging this, because that's taking up all of our time here. But it broke it, and I'd be able to fix it. But we're just going to deal with with the color the way that it is right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click accept because the app is still working. I'll go back and fix it. Now everything's permanent. I'm just going to put in here. Okay, for now, do me a favor. Reset the app default to be at light theme with the slate color, and we were not able to fix the color picker. We will come back to it later. I just want the slate to be default. All right, so we're going to go like this. It'll make a change, and then at least the app will have, some proper colors that we want right here. Let's see what we're saying here. Wow, looks like a pink sheet. Yeah. Look, there's some good stuff going on. We could be very disappointed that our merger didn't go through, but guys, we were merging for very little cash and mostly stock. So it was a good thing. Like, they're a strong company, but once we would have done that, we would have everything I worked for would have been gone. So we kind of dodged a bullet there, So let's, oops, I clicked reapply. I meant save. Yes, it fixed the color here for us. Very good. Oh, and look at that. Me telling it just to do that fixed the friggin' the app for us. The dark mode doesn't work, but I can deal with that. All right, let's go build the application. So this is the front page, right? So what we're going to do now is let's just create a front page for my app. right? So let's go to V0. I'm going to tell Larry, can we move up 30 minutes? Can we move to 4:30? My training is going long. I don't think you guys mind. You could always leave whenever you want. I'm going to bump Larry up. So this is the index page, essentially, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to V0, and we're going to start a new chat. This has to be in your workflow. So I'm just going to say, make me a nice homepage for my SaaS app. For now, the only CTA is to log in. Let's use Shad CN New York theme. I don't even need to say that. I'm just gonna say use Shad CN because my app will default the New York theme. It'll never override it anyway. So let's use the Shad CN for this, and we're gonna say that make my home page about an assistant GPT marketplace where users can create and share GPT assistants. Okay, looks good, and that's it. Don't need too much more than that, because I want to show you how you change your home pages and different pages and login pages and stuff like that. Right. So today was really focused on building your framework and getting your site up and creating a login page and an admin page and different things like that. For right now, I'm not going to get, I could have said, the name of it is this, and I could start uploading logos and colors and stuff like that and go to, Midjourney and have a logo created. But right now, this is a pretty cool page, right? So we got to wait for this thing to stop spinning so we know that it's completely done. And it'll give me a final thing that it's done. And boom, we are done. Here's my page. All right, so what we need to do is we first need to install any components that it added here. And most likely we have them. So I'm going to just click this to go install the components, go over to cursor. All right, now we're getting into developer mode. I'm going to hit the accept button here. All right, and we sometimes when I'm done with what I was previously working on, I like to close these things. Otherwise, it's like Chrome tabs. You just get like 1,000, right? So I'm just going to open up my little command terminal here, and I'm going to paste in that little command right there. Just make sure anytime it says this component already exists, I'm going to say no. I don't need to overwrite any component. Let's see why are you not all right, let's oh, I'm in Claude Dev. Let me close that, open up regular terminal. Let's see, yes, I'm in my app. I'm going to do that. Okay, you need to install the following packages. Okay to proceed? Yes. All right, it's just going to install stuff. The file button already exists. Do you want to replace it? No. And anything else? See, I didn't have a card, an input, these different things here. So it created everything that is needed for me. And let's now go look at my application. And now, oops, something broke. Oh, it timed out. So we got to go back to here. Let's just refresh this and see if it timed out. Yeah, we got to rerun this again. That sometimes happens. It doesn't run the server indefinitely. All right, so here's my app. Let's make sure it's back up and running. Hit refresh. Okay, we're up and running here. Let's close. All right, so what we want to do is we want to find the index page of the site. So we're gonna close this. We got all of our components that we need. We're gonna go back to our composer, right? We can basically create a, now you can wipe out everything you worked on by hitting reset composer. You can do that. It's nice to have a history of stuff. So I'm just gonna create a new composer, right? So this is my previous one that I was working on here, right? Now, truth be told, I really don't need a history of this. So I'm going to delete it. I don't feel like I broke anything that is that important. So we're going to delete all the work that was, you know, the chat history. That essentially what I just did is like going into ChatGPT and saying, hey, delete this. I don't need it. You could keep it there. It's, you know, just holding some hard drive space. But I just wanted to, you know, show you that you can do that. Now, it's automatically going to name this composer. Now, so what do we want to work on? We want to work on the index page of the app. Now, I may not know what that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to put at codebase, because that's how we always start. And I'm going to say, what is my index page of my app? I could ask that, or I can just say this. Change the home page of my app. This is the page that you see when you are at the root, aka not logged in. I do not know that page. Can you tell me what it is and change the page to look like this? Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to take this code right here, click copy, and literally just paste it in here like that. And that's how we design a page. Okay. And it's a very important, guys. Okay. So let's do this. Let's add a new thing. Next. It's just might as well, right? Not that these are really steps at this point. Always design a page and your UI before you start your coding. It is much easier for the AI to know what to code when the page already exists. So your goal is to create a fully featured app that you can navigate that does not function. This is called a mock-up app, and that way you can see that it looks the way you want the UI to work and navigate. Once you are happy, all you have to do is tell the app to make this page function. That's really it. Okay, so let's go back to cursor here and see what it did. So I'm not going to hit accept. Never hit accept. This was my mistake. I used to hit accept, and I didn't know that I could just hit save. So let's take a look at my page over here. Okay, and let's do this. Let's take cursor and put it here. Okay, and if I hit accept, I permanently married this code and I can never revert. I'm going to hit save all, and now this page should change. There you go. There's my home page, just like that. See how it works? Now, guys, look, this is not the way I would design a page. I would design it in group pages. I just wanted to show you how a page gets made. So now what we need to do is we need to notice that it is not functional. We only have a login page. So I'm going to click accept all. I'm happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with Composer, and I'm going to say now, just like I'm talking to my developer. This is what I want you to realize, right? Okay, wow, that worked, right? I want you to like start feeling like you're talking to a human. Okay, now what I want to do is create a login page. But remember, folks, create the page first in V0. So I'm going to keep this like this so I could toggle back and forth between the two like that. Okay, so let's go to V0 and let's actually create a nicer login page. Or I think I did that already, didn't I? Right? Let's see what this page looks like. Yeah, that's okay, right? We need to sign in with Google. That's all I want for this. I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist, and I want to make it the way that it looks over here, right? I want it to look like you see here, right? This is very simple, guys. You just basically tell it, I want 2 columns. I want this here, and blah blah blah. I want the buttons to be blue. But for right now, let's just use this page, okay? So I have to make sure that we have all of the components, right? So we already created the page. Right? What did I say? Create a login page for my Snap app, make it look snazzy, right? And then make sure to sign in with Google. All right, so let's go to Cursor Composer. Command Shift I. Wow, that worked. I want to do is create a login page at Codebase. Please check to see if a login page exists, and all of your pages are pages that end in .tsx. All right. So when you, let me just minimize this for a second. All your pages, these are basically, your pages. There's my, homepage.tsx. So all your page, you'll start to get, know that all of your pages are in here in components UI, and then you'll be able to see, okay, this is my login page, and you'll start getting used to your app as it gets built because you'll start seeing all of these things start happening. So we're going to go back to full screen for Cursor. Please check to see if a login page exists. If not, create one. And I want it to look like this. Now the problem is we have to install those components, if you remember. So Command J, go here, grab this, take that, and install. And we may already have the components. So remember, we always say no, we don't want to add anything that is already there. The button already exists. Do we want to add that? No. Cards exist. We don't need to add that. Okay, so we're done. It added whatever. It looks like it didn't need to add anything for this, obviously, because all that's here is a card. There's no drop down. There's nothing to be added. We didn't add anything. So now what we do? Let's go back to here, and we grab this code by clicking here, clicking the copy button, and going here and saying this. All right, and then I'm going to say also on the, and I think they made a page called Homepage that I just saw. Homepage, right? Please make sure that the login button links to this page, right? So what I want to show you guys is basically what would you tell your developer, right? You have your website here. You tell them, hey, you created the login page, but this button doesn't work, right? So I want you to know, I'm basically talking to my developer. I created a page. I want you to make it look like this. And I noticed that on the home page, the login button doesn't work. So it makes that links to this login page that you are making. Okay, and away we go. And away we go. So after this, I'm going to create the admin dashboard the way that I would want to make it. And then I don't code anything to work. I code everything so that it looks like it should work. And then once the Cursor Composer sees, oh, I already see there's a page with a button, it knows how to make everything work. It doesn't have to interpret everything. So that's why you start with the UI first. You get an app that you can navigate, hit login, light mode, dark mode, all these different things. And then, when you want to upload an image, the upload button doesn't work. So you just literally say, okay, the UI looks great. We're all set now. What I want to do is when you click upload an image, I want it to add that image, and it will automatically know to add it to your Firebase database. So remember, never accept all. We're going to hit save. And now we're going to see I have a page called login. So let's click right here and click. And there you go, guys. It went to my login page just like that. Right now, I can waste time with you guys and say, hey, there should be a button that says go back to home page, right? That's something you would just tell it. I'm not going to do that right now. You kind of get it. Now, look, this doesn't work, right? So let's accept all. I'm very happy. Everything works. So I'm going to say, oh, okay, on the login page, make a way to go back to the @home page. I'm doing this on purpose, right? And I really should have even said, for login page, I should have done it like this. Is what I'm trying to teach you. On the login page, right there it is. Was it login page component app login page? And there's another one called components login dash page. Looks like I might have two. So let me see here. So I'm just gonna, because I'm not sure which one it is. On the login page that you just made. And actually, I can even like click here, and I can see the source of it. There it is. It's app.login that page. But on the login page that you just made, please add a way to get back to the home page. Okay, so we did that, and now I want to say also on the login page. Watch this. Please make the login button work so the user can authenticate and log in with Google. All right, here we go. We're going to get that button working. And I probably should have said something like, everything is in, the Firebase, but it should know that because that's in my cursor rules. Who is making fun of me here? Oh, I see. They're talking about a puppy. They said, nice haircut. Because I got a haircut today, but they were talking about this puppy. Nacho got a haircut today. That's my little poodle's Labradoodle, Golden Doodle's family. All right, so let's see. Let's click save all first, guys. Save all, never accept all, because if we break our app, we don't know. All right, let's click the login. Oh, look at that. Sign in. We could add a logo picture there, and I can show you how to do all that as well. So watch this. Sign in with Google. Let's see. It doesn't work. Okay, that's why we don't want to hit accept all. When I click, let's see, did we add a back to home page? Yes, look at that, back to home page. Right, that works. When I click the button to log in, it's a dead button, right? I don't have to know code. I can just talk to it the way I would talk to a developer. And there's something new that they've added now where you could revert back to anything. So in the updates, they've added this new feature that even if you do hit accept all, you can now go back and say restore to this part of the conversation. I wanted to first scare the hell out of you that you hit the save first and accept all, but you actually can now, if you hit accept all, you still have this conversation. So actually don't delete your conversations because you can go back at any time and save this stuff. And I do want you to know that you should start looking into different things like putting your code up for free at a place like GitHub, right? And this is a place where you can fork your code and work in a developer environment and never break anything that's in your app. As you can see, I've got my my code for Groove Chat there and things like that. You can watch YouTube videos on that. This isn't a teach you coding course. This is a day we're giving you. So when I click the login button, it's a dead button. It does not work. And watch this. Please see cursor rules. I'm just going to type in rules, and it'll find that right there. To note that I already have all of my Firebase auth info in my secrets folder. let's go. There's another Chrome extension, extension I'm going to show you that you want to be familiar with, and it's something called like Timeline or something like that. And I'm going to show you that, you know, I have that installed on mine, and that's important. It can also help you revert back to pages. Now, as you saw me do that before in Replit, you know, when you're actually in a page, you can sometimes see the history of it, but that's only if you code in Replit. All right, so it doesn't save your history of pages that you are doing here. Okay, so let's click Save All. All right, now let's go see if that button works or if it broke the page or anything like that. All right, let's click. All right, it's having a problem with this sign in with Google. Let's actually read. It's very important to see what's going on. Here are the changes. We've made a component, client, blah, blah, blah. We've imported the sign in with Google. Just going to go. Button's still dead. I'm not going to completely fight this. We're going to go into the admin. It's important to be able to at least log in. The problem that we're creating right now is we're creating a sign-in with Google, so nobody needs an account, so anybody can just click the sign-in button and automatically log in. But, you know, later we can say, you know, a user has to be, you know, they have to be in the database already, and, you know, all that different type of stuff. So here we are. It's going through. It's trying to see. It looks like it's done. Let's see if this button works. I made a new button here. I see the button changed. And that's the last time I'm going to try this because I want to get on the app with you. I see the button changed, but the way it looks, but it still does not work. Now, this is where a developer would say, Mike, for crying out loud, you can just basically look at that right here in the authentication and see that, you know, you're missing this. That's the problem. You know, I get it. I don't know how to code, so I really don't know what's wrong. So I'm talking into it like I would a regular developer. So I'm just going to hit go. Oh, there's a couple of other things I want to let you know. This is really important. I almost forgot. I got to put this here in the document for you. Okay, 10A. Always check the model. Make sure to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It's better than ChatGPT 4 Omni. You can use O1 Preview or O1, but they cost a lot and should only be used to create plans for projects or debug. Okay, and that's what we're going to do now if this doesn't work. We're going to save all. Okay, go back to the app. Okay, and the thing is, I don't have to hit refresh. That's the nice thing with Next.js and React. When you create a React app, anytime you save, it just automatically updates everything. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that, baby. This thing works. All right, great. I can now click accept all. Okay, you see now we don't have any dashboard for them to log in, but we're at least authenticated. So what I wanted to show you here is always check your model here that you're using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. If that didn't work, I was going to go into O1 Preview and say, hey, I'm having a problem. It's a smarter model. It would have been able to figure that out. You just switch your model here. Now, keep in mind, if you change your model here, it's not the same model when you are here. When you open up Command K over here, right? This has its own model as well. And if you were to open up Command L, that's where you're just like having a little chat that you can do over here. Even this will have its own model. So it's very important that these are three separate different things. You always want to check that you're using the right model. And if you'll notice, whenever you click Command L, it'll usually open the page that you're on as context as well. So let's go back to our Cursor Composer. We already accepted all. Everything's working. So now let's go and create our admin dashboard, and then we're going to be done for the day. Yes, I was on, but I have to jump. Hit me up done when you're available. Okay, cool. All right, so let's close our little terminal. We don't need this here. Guys, I think that we're good with this composer here. So what I'm going to do, I'll leave all these pages open. I'm going to basically start a new composer. I'm just going to close this one. I'm going to start a new one because we're going on to a new project. So create new. Now, I really want you to look into these notepads. These are like macro projects. When you're creating, like right now, I'm creating little mini projects. But when you're creating a brand new part in your app, you want to create this thing called a notepad. And it's kind of like a mini cursor composer project with its own cursor rules that are a subset of your cursor rules. Like, hey, in this project, we're going to be doing this, even though the cursor rules say that. But right now, I've never even used that. It's a new feature. We're just going to create a new composer, start from scratch. We don't want this pre-given context, right? And so here's what we're going to do, okay? We are going to create an admin dashboard. And we're going to basically go to Replit. And I'm going to open up my Groove chat. And I'm going to run this. It's going to take about a minute to run. And I'm going to load up that dashboard, and I'm going to just use that dashboard because I like the way it worked. And I'm going to show you how you start with your admin dashboard. All right. And we're going to create those components and build the inside of the logged in app. It won't function, but that's the beautiful thing is you don't want to make the code work without a UI. Create the UI that doesn't work first. And then once the UI, you can navigate everywhere. It looks good. You almost feel like you've built an app already. And then just say, do you saw how I said it, right? We had the login page. Make this button work. Make this button work. Make this button work. That's all I had to do. All right. I don't know how the Google authentication worked. I just created a page and said, make the button work, and it worked. It's fascinating. And that's how everything works. You make the UI, and you just tell it to work. So I want to steal this user interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let's make sure my Chrome browser is centered so I can get a good screenshot. And I want you to know some things that are important in coding. This is called the sidebar, okay? And this is called the top bar. You want to use those expressions, top bar, sidebar, sidebar navigation, right? And then you want to call this the content area, okay? So that sometimes you can, oops, what in the world just happened there? Why did my app stop working? God, you're kidding me. I didn't know that. That sucks. That sucks. I closed Replit. I didn't realize that when you close Replit, it stops running it. That kind of blows. So we got to wait for it to reload again. Oh, did I get the screenshot? I didn't. I got the screenshot. So that's good. Let's take this. We're going to go over to V0. We're going to create a new admin dashboard. Okay. We are going to create an admin dashboard that looks like the screenshot. We are using ShadCN. That's just a component library. I want the sidebar, unlike the screenshot, to say, so what does my screenshot say? Manage chatbots, AI image creator, dashboard, marketplace, my GPTs, settings, profile settings, logout. All right, and let's add that image, Poink. Make sure we don't have any typos, even though AI knows all that stuff. And watch this, guys. We're going to create our login dashboard. And we'll wrap that up. And I'll probably do a part 2 where we actually go and like start creating the GPT assistants. And so as you can see here, we started at 1 and we're done at 4:30. It took 3.5 hours, and you could see like how much can be done in 4 days. And that's how I can build an entire application like this in 3 days, working 4 hours a day. So you're talking 1.5 days. And, my developers at Groove AI, working on other stuff, this stuff is still not out yet. And we're getting to the point where I'm like, I'm going to start building this stuff myself on my own time. But I'm getting them onto the AI coding. All right, so let's take a look at this, guys. Come on. Right? This is great. The only thing is it's not chatbots. It's GPTs, so I'll change that. I don't want to reiterate it there. I can do that when we send it over. It gave me, some different things here. So what I was supposed to do was probably blur out the middle, but that's all right. I'm going to just use this. So let's see what components are needed by taking this and adding these components that were made to my code base. So we're going to go to cursor, right? And we Command J. We can never do that while we're in Composer. So we're going to minimize Composer, Command J, open up my terminal, run that command. An MPX command simply is a command that's used in JavaScript. I think there's bash commands and PHP. I forget, I don't, not that I forget. I don't know this stuff. So the button already exists. Override it? No. Cards exist. Override it? No. Okay, everything else has been installed. Done. We have the components. Now, you guys have seen this before. You know exactly what's next. Now we go to the code and we click the copy button and we go to Composer and we say, now, I don't know if there's an admin dashboard. I have no idea. So I'm going to say at Codebase. If there is an admin dashboard after the user logs in, great. We will use that. If not, then please create one for me and tell me the name. Oh, it's getting late. Tell me the name. All right. Okay. I already have all of the components needed to design the page in the library. And I want it to look like the code below. Also, please, when the user logs in the app, this is the page I want them to land on. Notice this app will have a top bar, a sidebar for nav, and a main content area for app functions. Okay, let's give it the code. Here is code for main admin dashboard home. Bing, bing, bing. And now we're going to literally have an app. And I think you're starting to see, okay, I get this. Build the UI first, then focus on function. And that's it. And you use V0 to build your UI and you make it look the way that you want. And, I probably should have told it, I don't want it to say, chatbots. It should have said, GPTs. But I literally cloned a screenshot, so it did what I told it. Right? So it's generating. It read my code base. It's looking at what needs to be done. It looked at the cursor rules. And later what we're going to do is we're going to do something like this. At outline, right? Remember, because I called it the outline. Let's work on step 5 of the outline. That's all we have to say, right? Because the outline that we created, if we go back to ChatGPT, we're going to tell it to work on step 5 because we've already mapped out what we need to do for the app, right? ChatGPT knows more of this stuff than even I do. So I don't want to just say, start doing this. I'm going to say, now, we would need to work on step 5 or step 6, or let's work on the marketplace, step 7, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the thing is, I don't know if, we want to use all of that stuff, because we may be making the app that's not using this, but we would address that later. This looks like it's done. Okay, let's just click Save All, and let's go look at the app. Let's log in. I don't think we need the Groove Chat anymore. We won't need this anymore. We might have, right, for more features in the application. Oh my God, it friggin' worked. Unbelievable. Okay, so we're logged in. All right, so here's the problem. The app is in a container, right? So I'm gonna accept it. It's working. I'm happy enough there. Okay, great, it worked. Always gotta let it know that it worked so that it completely understands. 99%. The issue is the app looks like it is in a container that does not allow it to go full width of the browser. Now, some of this stuff, I don't know the actual term. There's probably a better way to say this when you're doing front end and CSS and stuff, where you can tell it. But that's the beautiful thing, is we have an abstraction layer, which is ChatGPT. So I'm just going to say, please fix it to be full width. Right? So we got, too much space here. And we also got an issue that this is not in the top bar. And, I'm not going to spend too much time working on that. We don't have these pages mapped yet. Oops. Right? That's why they're 404ing. Let's just go back to the dashboard. But literally, we would go and build those pages. All right. Wait for this to get done. And we'll probably wrap it up there for the day. And then I'm probably going to have to do, another session with you guys where we'll actually build out this entire application. But I think you guys learned a ton today. Something broke. Okay, this is good. Oh, I wish it would have broke, to be honest. I'm hoping it breaks. Yeah. Okay, good. Because I've been lucky. I'm so good. I'm so good at this. Like, I know how to talk to it better than I'm getting less and less of these errors. This is common. Don't worry. Just go like this. You don't have to say anything other than paste. Paste. And that's why I didn't hit accept all. Because if I start messing this up and I can't go back, I can always go back. But again, now they have these new things where you could go back and start again. But I'm just pasting the error with no other context. That's it. And it's going to say, oh, I see. The issue is this. And it'll fix it in a heartbeat. I didn't have to say anything else other than paste the error that I see on the page. Now, some of you developers out there are going, Mike, it literally told you there's an unexpected div on line 12. Just go and put a curly brace. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't have to. That's why if you're a real coder, this is going to make you just so much faster, because you'll just go in and go, okay, oh, I see the issue right here. It just needs this or whatever, right? So Claude seems to be a little slow. It's like when ChatGPT gets down, like it shouldn't be doing this blinking. It should just be working. So I've never had to hit cancel chat and say try again, but this is interesting. This is going to be the last little thing. We'll get the app up and running again so that the dashboard is full width, and then we'll call it a day. All right, seems to be writing. Let's click Save All. All right, we got a build error fail. Come on, baby. Now, if I hit reject all, it'll just work because I haven't accepted these permanent changes. It's almost like it made a clone of the project while we're working on it. It's allowing me to test to see if it works. And if I hit accept, then we're permanent. But if I hit save, it's like, hey, do you like it? And it allows you to decide if you want to permanently do it. So Claude seems to be a little slow right now. I would like to get that, the app up and running just before we close it out for today. But let's see what you guys have said here. Wow, 10 minutes and a good library and bada bing. Yeah, exactly. Can we cancel our OpenAI ChatGPT monthly subscription that has now that have these tools? Let me just put what I'm trying to read here. Now that we have these tools and just use our normal OpenAI API building. Your OpenAI chat. Do me a favor. I'm not sure what you mean. Just say this for me, Steve. Do you mean ChatGPT? And let's not call that OpenAI. Let's call this ChatGPT, and let's call this OpenAI. All right, platform OpenAI API keys. So I'm not sure which one you mean. And Steve, you probably came in late because if you maybe you didn't see this new ChatGPT Canvas feature that they came out with that allows everything to basically look like this. I just click into the canvas, and this new feature with these new settings over here is killer. For $20 a month, I'm keeping my ChatGPT. Right, it does some, it does some cool things that I like, but that's certainly up to you. All right, let's see if they fix this damn thing here. Hey, we're fixed. Now, why it keeps going back, I probably just got to say, hey, it keeps logging me out of the session. I got to keep logging back in. But there you go, guys. Look at that. We created an app today that if we had time, right? But I got to let you guys get back to your life. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. We're going to come back and we're going to create the marketplace, the ability to create the GPTs, your profile, your settings, and all that stuff. He meant cancel ChatGPT subscription. Yeah, I'd keep it. That's up to you. I love ChatGPT with the new feature that they just added. Sometimes I want to go in and I want to, find out about the speed of light. And I don't want to go into Groove.ai. I'm embarrassed to probably let you look at some of the stuff that I look at here. But literally, you could see I don't need all of these things. And when I use this more like Google now, right? So here's the app up and running, guys. So I've got to change this to say new GPT, total GPTs. There'll be a marketplace. You'll be able to go to GPTs. There'll be a button that says create. And, we could have this app pretty much up and running in the next 4 hours. But, we're already coming on to the 4th hour of the day. I've got to let you guys go. I will schedule. I said I was only going to do this once. I'll probably do either finish the app myself and show you what we did, or we'll just have another day. I think many of you may be interested in seeing this app get finished. But for the most part, I think you have what you need. I think this was a very successful training. With development, there could have been something where just for 45 minutes to an hour, I'm just like, I can't seem to get this bug to work. I don't know what's wrong. What am I doing wrong? Watch the video and then find out later, oh, I forgot to give it a custom URL. Silly things like that. Today, because I built this several times, you can go back and just watch this video step by step over and over again and watch some of the other resources that we gave you in this Google Doc. I will share this Google Doc one more time for those of you that came in a little bit late. We're going to wrap up the day. I appreciate you guys joining us. Let's see what says. Another day would be cool, but either way, great learning for today. Yeah, I don't know that it's necessary. I mean, basically, you'd love to see that I finished creating the app so that you could have it. I don't really know that you need another day. I think I've basically shown you the foundation. It would just be 3 hours more of the same. Me going into V0 saying I need this and then say map this, make this work. I think we're good. I really think we're good. I think you have everything that you need to go and create your own little apps. I'm going to finish this app because I like it. And I'm going to import it over to Groove AI like I'm doing with Groove Chat. And that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this stream after we go out with our song that was created with Suno AI. And we're stepping into a world of code. Automation lifts the heavy load. From Groove to WorkflowApp.ai.
We're stepping into a world of code. Automation takes the heavy load. Our workflows leading the way, creating the future. We're starting today. Your dreams are digital, become alive with every automation. It's a we who thrive. I mastery in your hand. Take control, create the plan. We are the future. We are the light. With automation in our sight, certification, the power's real. WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. From Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai. Your dreams are digital. They come alive with every automation. It's we who thrive. Mastery in your hand. Take control, create the plan. We are the future. We aid the plan with every automation. It's we who thrive. Mastery in your hands. Take control, create the plan. We are the future. We are the light. With automation in our sights. Certification, the power's real. Certification, the power's real. Certification, the power's real. Certification. Certification. WorkflowApp.ai. Groove to WorkflowApp.ai.